You're in Konoha, and you call these ninja tools? This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 276 New Mission, Capture the One-Tailed Jinchuriki. Only eternity can truly exist in this world. Known by more people. Humph, as long as my explosions continue, it can also be spread in this world, and your so-called eternal art, what remains is just a shell, and it can't get beauty at all. Deidara did not give in the pursuit of art. Oh, really? In that case, I think you are very suitable to be my fifth puppet. The red sand scorpion laughed coldly when he heard this. That's easy to do. I also want to show you what my art is. If I can explode in this broken puppet shell of yours, I think the scene must be beautiful. Deidara did not hesitate to tit for tat. Pain Shyandao. Seeing that his subordinates were about to quarrel, he hurriedly stopped them. Okay, I don't care what art you insist on. Anyway, I have a task for you next. I hope you can complete this task well. Otherwise, if you fail, then what is waiting for you, I believe you should all know. Pain Shyandao looked at the two and said. After hearing this, Deidara and Scorpion looked at each other and nodded. They both knew what the consequences would be if the mission failed. Hidden in angle were their previous experience. If they didn't want to die, they had better unite during the mission and not quarrel. We understand, but let's talk about it. What is our mission this time? Scorpion looked at Pine and asked. At this time, Pine took a step back. In the darkness, Obito, wearing a vortex mask, walked out. This time your mission is to go to the Sands village and capture the one-tailed Jinchuriki. The Moon Eye project needs these tailed beasts, so this operation can only succeed, not fail. Obito looked at Deidara and Scorpion and said. Ah, Sand village, that seems to be your village, Scorpion. I hope you won't show mercy after you arrive at your village and let that one-tailed Jinchuriki go. Deidara said without any hesitation. This time, Scorpion ignored Deidara. He turned around and left after knowing the mission. The Sand village is indeed the village of Scorpion, but he has already become a traitor. He no longer has any attachment to the village. So he naturally won't care about the life and death of this village. Go quickly. Obito looked at Deidara and said. Okay, wait for me. Deidara could only nod helplessly, then turned around and chased Scorpion out of the Rain village. After Deidara and Scorpion left, the only people present were Konan, Pain, and Zetsu. Before, Tianyu came to the Rain village and said something to you. I hope you can ignore his words. The Moon Eye plan is the technique that can bring true peace, and other actions can only bring killing. If the desires in people's hearts are not quelled, even if the present is beautiful, the future will be destroyed. And only in dreams can everyone get everything they want. This world can only get real peace in reality. To get real peace, sacrificing some of the interests of others is nothing. You should understand this, and Yohiko is too idealistic, so he will die in the end. I don't want you to believe in the illusory lies like Yohiko, because there will never be real peace in reality. Obito turned around and looked at Tendo Pine. No, he should be looking at Nagato and Konan behind Tendo Pine. After all, Nagato is an important chess piece in the implementation of the Moon Eye plan. He must not rebel. Otherwise, these plans implemented by Obito will probably be delayed for a long time. I know, I won't believe what Tengo said, because even Konoha can't get real peace. Even if Hashirama Senju is still alive in this world, he relies on military deterrence. Once that ninjutsu is lifted, I'm afraid Konoha will be besieged by other countries, and they will be unable to take care of themselves. Nagato said coldly. Yes, we all believe in the Moon Eye project and will never listen to the words of outsiders. Konan also nodded. She and Nagato really want to see Yohiko again. So the Moon Eye project is their only hope. Because in the illusion of the Moon Eye project, the three of them and the Akatsuki organization created by Yohiko finally got a very warm ending. Not only did it bring peace to the world, but it also brought a long-lost sunshine to the Rain village. All people can live in the sunshine legitimately, without having to fear the harm of war day and night. This is what they want. Since you understand, I don't need to say more, go down and carry out the mission. Our first target is the one-tailed beast, and then there are the remaining tailed beasts. This is a big project. Obito said. Okay. Pain, Tendo, and Konan nodded together. Then the space around Obito rippled, and Obito and Black Zetsu also left the Rain Village. Only Tendao Pain and Konan were left standing in this dark room, remembering their former comrades. Deidara and the Red Sand Scorpion, after leaving the Rain Village, rushed all the way to the Sand Village. After entering the territory of the Wind Country, Deidara couldn't help but start complaining in the face of the yellow sand. "This place is too hot. I really don't know how you lived here before. No wonder you have become what you are now. Those who live here are either perverts or scoundrels." Deidara couldn't help but complain. The Red Sand Scorpion said nothing. He had been away from the Sand Village for too long, almost 10 years. In these 10 years, he had never returned to the Sand Village of the Wind Country. Although he had some understanding of the current situation of the Sand Village, it was not much, and assassinations were not as familiar as going back home. In his eyes, he came to the Sand Village just to carry out a mission. After the mission is completed, he will return to the organization and continue to carry out the mission. Of course, it would be even better if he could kill the traitor Orochimaru. "Please shut up. You are here to carry out the mission, not to take a vacation. So it is not your turn to say what the environment here is like." Chapter 277 Meeting at Sand Village. The Red Sand Scorpion retorted directly. Yes, it's really not my turn to say these words." Deidara was rarely blocked by the Red Sand Scorpion's words. He could only look at the Red Sand Scorpion and stop talking. The two continued to move forward to the Sand Village. Their speed was not fast along the way. After all, the two of them came to attack and take away the one-tailed Jinchuriki. If they made a big fuss and let the Sand Village know in advance and prepare, it would be a bit bad. Here in the Sand Village, a meeting is being held here now. Grandma Chiyo is in her room, waiting for the meeting to begin. She looked at the photos of her son and daughter-in-law on the table, and tears could not help appearing in her eyes. Her son and daughter-in-law died fighting for this village, and they were less than 30 years old when they died. Even after so many years, when she thinks of the death of her son and daughter-in-law, Grandma Chiyo's heart is still in pain. After looking at the photos of her son and daughter-in-law, Grandma Chiyo looked at the photo that had been upside down on the table. For some reason, this time, Chiyo picked up the photo. The person in the photo was the 4 or 5-year-old Scorpion of the Red Sand. At that time, Scorpion of the Red Sand was still very small and very cute. He was originally a lively and cheerful child, and he was very talented in puppetry. He was originally a genius. If he could continue to stay in the village, he would definitely be able to get the best training. And maybe he could become the Kazakage. After all, Chiyo mastered the core of the Sand Village. But because of the death of his son and daughter-in-law, Scorpion of the Red Sand also became less talkative. Later, he continued to study puppetry. The puppets he developed were very exquisite, and even now, there are still people in the Sand Village who continue to use them. But later, Scorpion of the Red Sand wanted to give life to the puppets, and he wanted his parents to come back to life. But how could a puppet made of dead objects come back to life? In addition, Chiyo was very busy in the village during that time, so she didn't look favorably on Scorpion of the Red Sand. By the time Chiyo realized something was wrong, Scorpion had already betrayed the Sand Village. The Sand Village had indeed sent out a pursuit force, but at that time, she really couldn't do anything to her grandson, so she had to let Scorpion go. It has been 10 years since she last met Scorpion. I don't know if he is doing well. But no matter what, Scorpion, her son and daughter-in-law are the eternal pain in Chiyo's heart. "Chiyo, everyone has arrived, and everyone is waiting for you in the conference room." A ninja walked up to Chiyo and said, "Well, I'll come right over." Chiyo sighed, then put the photo back and followed the ninja to the conference room. When Chiyo came to the conference room, she once again became Chiyo, the senior executive in charge of the village, instead of an ordinary old man. Chiyo looked around. Now the people sitting in the Sand Village conference room are all the senior executives of this time. Not only is Maki here, but there are also some old people from the 4th Kazakage period. Although these people hold real power, their number is not much. Among the high-level officials of the Sand Village, most of them are replaced by young people. This includes the 3 children of the 4th Kazakage: Temari, Kankuro and Gaara. Temari's talent has been demonstrated, and her position in the village is very solid now. Although Kankuro is not as good as Temari, he has made some significant contributions to the village. Therefore, at this meeting, although Kankuro cannot sit in the seat, He can at least stand aside and listen. Gaara sat next to the round table, next to Granny Chiao. This position has explained everything. And the target of this meeting is Gaara. What they want to discuss is whether Gaara should succeed the position of the 5th Kazakage. Now everyone, please speak freely and say whatever you want to say. Otherwise, after the meeting, if you want to say it again, you will not have this opportunity. Granny Chiao looked at everyone. In her heart, she wanted Gaara to become the 5th Kazakage. Nowadays, the strength of the Sand Village is in a period of transition. Some of the old strong men were killed when attacking Konoha. Only some young ones are left, but those young ones are still growing. After all the calculations, only Gaara's identity is the most suitable. Not only is he the son of the previous Kazakage, but Gaara's strength is also quite strong. He has reached the level of Kage. The most important thing is that Gaara is still very young now. He has enough strength to grow slowly. After Gaara becomes the 5th generation Kazakage, the Sand Village can continue to recuperate. Create enough time for the growth of the younger generation. And more importantly, Grandma Chiao is already very old. When the 4th generation Kazakage was not dead, Grandma Chiao often played the game of pretending to be dead with her younger brother. Almost every time, Grandma Chiao was able to deceive her younger brother. This is enough to show that Grandma Chiao is indeed no longer suitable to be in charge of the entire Sand Village. After weighing the pros and cons, I decided to agree with Chiao's opinion. No matter what, Gaara is the strongest force that the village can bring out now. Moreover, Gaara is the son of the previous Kazakage, so he is qualified to become the 5th Kazakage. Maki naturally stood on Chiao's side without hesitation. No, I don't agree. The village can obviously wait for a while. If Gaara wants to become Kazakage at his age, he is too young. A 13-year-old Kazakage is unprecedented in the 5 great nations, and he is also a Jinchuriki. Letting a Jinchuriki become Kazakage may be criticized by the 5 great nations. An elder in the meeting room raised an objection. Me too. If Gaara is not the Jinchuriki, I could support him to become the future 5th Kazakage. But Gaara is too young now, and he's also the Jinchuriki of the One Tail. In the past, when the One Tail went berserk, it was always the Kazakage who rushed to the front to stop the One Tail. But now if we let the One Tail Jinchuriki become the Kazakage, if the One Tail Shukaku goes berserk again, who are we going to send to stop Gaara? He is the Kazakage himself, so how can our guards attack the Kazakage? Another elder also raised an objection. Chapter 278, Grandma Chiao's Fury. They even brought up the matter of the One Tail Jinchuriki. After hearing these words, Chiao's face was very ugly. Just when Chiao was about to give up, Maki couldn't help but speak. Okay, since everyone doesn't agree for the time being, let's discuss this issue at the next meeting. Now everyone, let's go. Maki said hurriedly. After hearing Maki's words, the others also planned to leave directly. But the next moment, Chiao slammed the table directly. There is no one in the Sand Village who is more suitable to be the Kazakage than Gaara. You must agree. This is my order to you, not a request. Okay, let's adjourn. After saying this, Chiao turned around and left. The faces of others were a little ugly. But what Chiao said made them understand that if they didn't agree and let Gaara become the Kazakage, their status in the Sand Village might become very difficult. Chiao is a more qualified person than the 4th Kazakage. If she is angered, it will be difficult to deal with. Thinking of this, everyone can only give in. Okay, don't be angry, Grandma Chiao. We agree. All the people present nodded in agreement. Anyway, Gaara is still just a child now. If he wants to become the Kazakage, he needs some time to train. And they can take advantage of this time to do something. Grasp the power firmly in their hands. In this way, even if Gaara really becomes the Kazakage, he still needs to see their faces. In this case, let's go back and pack up. After I report to the daimyo, I will immediately hold the succession ceremony of the Kazakage. Grandma Chiao turned and left. Gaara, Temari and Kankuro all followed Grandma Chiao. And the other elders left one after another under Maki's arrangement. Huh? This Grandma Chiao is really speechless. Choosing a child to become the Kazakage, even a fool can see her thoughts. The elders were a little angry, but they didn't dare to vent in front of Grandma Chiao. They only dared to curse behind her back after she left. Gaara, this time they promised you to become the Kazakage. There must be conditions behind it. I can help you once, but I can't help you everywhere. After you become the Kazakage, you must control yourself well and try to take power into your own hands as soon as possible, otherwise you can only become their puppet, understand? Granny Chiyo looked at Gaara and said. After half a year, Gaara has long changed from a person who only knows how to kill to a compassionate person. Now the people in the village have also changed their views on Gaara. Even some people have begun to love Gaara. I believe that as long as Gaara is given enough time, then Gaara will definitely succeed. Well, I know, this time, thank you very much, Granny Chiyo. Gaara looked at Granny Chiyo and couldn't help thanking her. Because if it weren't for Granny Chiyo this time, Gaara would never be able to become the Kazakage. This can be regarded as my atonement for the village. After all, I also had a hand in your life story. If I hadn't proposed to seal the one-tailed Shukaku into your body when you were just born, Gaara wouldn't have died, and you wouldn't have to live the life you had before. In the end, I was also wrong, so I am willing to make it up to you. I hope you can become a Kazakage that everyone loves and live up to those who trust you. Granny Chiyo looked at Gaara. There was sadness in her eyes, as if she saw her former grandson, the Red Sand Scorpion. It's just a pity that Gaara still has a chance to make up for it. But the Red Sand Scorpion may have already lost it. I will. Gaara nodded. Then Gaara bowed heavily to Granny Chiyo, and then turned and left. Temari and Kankuro also bowed to Granny Chiyo, and then left with Gaara. Granny Chiyo looked at their backs. She sighed silently, and then returned to her room in the same way. The sand village was particularly quiet at night. Today was a rare good day. There was no wind and no raging sand. It was obvious that tomorrow would be a sunny day, and tomorrow was also the day when Chiao-chan would report to the daimyo that Gaara would become the 5th Kazakage. The guards in the village were guarding the village diligently. However, they were paying attention to the threats on land and ignored the sky. Deidara sat on a flying bird made of clay and patrolled the sand village from high in the sky. After he circled the sand village, he quietly dropped some spider bombs from the sky. These spider bombs were controlled by Deidara and slowly attached to the backs of these guards. However, when Deidara was about to launch a silent assassination, one of the guards suddenly noticed the white spider next to him. What is this strange thing? The guard was immediately frightened by the white spider. Humph, this is not a strange thing. Deidara had murderous intent in his eyes. Then these spiders immediately jumped on the faces of these people. Then Deidara was in the air, with a cruel smile in his eyes. As expected, you idiots don't understand art at all. I'll use your bodies to teach you what art is. Art is explosion. Deidara had just finished speaking in a low voice. The spiders began to expand instantly. Then, in just a moment, these people were blown to pieces by the bomb without even being able to scream. Smoke floated. But the strange thing was that when the bomb exploded, although it brought smoke and fire, there was not much sound. It was as if something fell to the ground. It was not comparable to the explosion of an ordinary detonating tag. After dealing with the guards in the village, Deidara immediately jumped off the flying bird. Without alarming anyone, he jumped directly to the platform on the roof. The infiltration was successful. Deidara was very confident in his ability. It was late at night, and all the ninjas and villagers were already asleep. As long as the guards were dealt with, no one in the entire sand village would find out that he had sneaked in. In this way, he could take away the one-tailed Jinchuriki Gaara quietly. By the time the sand village discovered that Gaara had disappeared, he and the Red Sand Scorpion had probably already left the Kingdom of Wind. Chapter 279 Sneak into the village? When he got the one-tailed Shukaku, he would successfully throw Gaara's body to them. Then he would put detonating clay in the body, and when they came to check, he would be able to reproduce his art of explosion again. However, to his surprise, the moment he landed, he heard footsteps coming from the roof. Infiltration successful? That's it. Gaara carried a large gourd on his back. He looked at Deidara silently. Because of the one-tailed Shukaku, Gaara suffered from insomnia. He never dared to let himself fall into deep sleep, because it would release Shukaku and endanger the village. So whenever he couldn't sleep, Gaara would sit on the roof and look up at the bright moon in the sky. Only then would he feel some comfort in his heart. Although he is no longer ostracized in this village and can even become the 5th generation Kazakage, this habit is still retained. This also allowed him to discover Deidara's invasion at the first time. Seeing that the infiltration failed, Deidara jumped onto the bird without hesitation and then ran away. Behind Deidara, Gaara stood on the rooftop, controlling the sand with both hands and chasing Deidara. As Deidara kept running away, the sand also left traces in the sky. The speed of the sand was very fast, but Deidara was even faster. Deidara did not attack, he just looked at his palm, and the mouth in his palm was constantly chewing the white clay. Obviously, Deidara was holding back a big move. As Deidara ran away, Gaara seemed a little impatient. The sand in the sky instantly split into four, besieging Deidara in different directions. The sand became extremely hard, and as long as it touched Deidara, it would definitely make him bleed on the spot. But Deidara still did not fight back. After seeing that his retreat was blocked, he controlled the white giant bird to fly into the sky. Gradually, the sand was about to escape from Gaara's control range. So Gaara condensed a ball of sand at his feet, like a cloud, and stood on it and chased Deidara directly. At this moment, Gaara's power fluctuations also instantly awakened the other people in the sand village. Some guards came back to their senses. Even some sleeping Jonin woke up. They walked out of the room and looked outside. They wanted to know what happened. Granny Chao was no exception. She walked out and stood on the balcony. She looked up at the confrontation between Gaara and Deidara. "Oh, you are really amazing. You can find me in the first time." Deidara looked at Gaara, and there was a hint of appreciation in his eyes. After all, Deidara used such means to destroy many small countries and small ninja villages. All the people died in the explosion, and no one noticed that Deidara had been here. But Gaara appeared here. He also launched an attack. He was indeed the only exception among so many people he met. There is no bird like the one you ride in the desert. Gaara did not speak. At this moment, Gaara could feel the gap between him and the other party. The other party's strength had long exceeded the level of Cage, while Gaara's current strength was only at the level of Cage. If they really fight, he is very likely not the opponent of the man in front of him. If Gaara is given enough time, just over a year, then Gaara's strength will be able to surpass the level of Cage like the man in front of him, but it is obvious that Gaara does not have this time. But no matter what, he must protect this village. He must not let the man in front of him destroy it. At the same time, in the village. Someone attacked the village. What's going on? Aren't all the guards in charge of Liang? After knowing the news that someone attacked the village, Kenjiro immediately found the captain of the guard. I don't know, Captain Liang disappeared. The captain of the guard looked at Kenjiro, also with a puzzled look on his face. Damn it, it seems that the enemy has planned this. Kenjiro understood something in an instant. He looked up at Gaara and Deidara in the sky and gritted his teeth. Pass the order down, all the ninjas in the village will be on guard immediately, and together with Gaara, take down the enemy. Kenjiro gave an order, and the people around him immediately went to prepare. In the distance, the entrance of the sand village. Red Sand Scorpion was hiding in the puppet amber, and next to him was Liang, the captain of the sand village. Liang's appearance at Red Sand Scorpion's place at this time meant that he had already betrayed the sand village. Humph, I didn't expect Deidara to make such a big fuss. This guy is really capable of causing trouble. Red Sand Scorpion sighed. Then after a while, he looked at Liang next to him. Liang, you should go back first. If the people of the sand village find out that you are not here, it will cause trouble. This person is a spy of the sand village developed by Red Sand Scorpion. Usually, he can add news from various villages and pass it to him continuously. In this way, when Red Sand Scorpion goes to the 5 major countries to carry out the mission, he will have an advantage in intelligence. Yes, Lord Scorpion. Liang nodded, and then left directly. After Liang left, Red Sand Scorpion looked into the distance. Hurry up, Deidara, I don't like waiting for people. Amber's eyes were without any emotion. But one could hear the impatience of the Red Sand Scorpion from the voice. In the air, Deidara stood on the flying bird, looking at Gaara opposite him. It seems that the attempt to infiltrate has failed, but it just so happens that there is no need to bother looking for you. Deidara was very confident in his own strength. Even though the power displayed by the little devil in front of him was very strong, he had enough confidence to take the little devil away. Don't even think about leaving the sand village. Gaara had a blank expression on his face. With a wave of his hands, countless sands emerged from the ground in an instant. These sands gathered together and rushed to the sky in an instant. Under Gaara's control, a huge sea of sand was formed in the sky. It looked extremely vast. Such strength made Deidara couldn't help but squint his eyes. It's worthy of occupying the geographical advantage, it's really a bit tricky. Deidara looked at the huge sea of sand and was a little shocked. Another was Desai at the Sand Village, and there was such a strong appearance now, and the second was Desai at Gaara's age, which was too young to reach such a cage level. Chapter 280 Fierce Battle. If Gaara could grow older now, I'm afraid the outcome between them would be even more difficult to decide. But this does not mean that there is no way to decide. Sitting on the bird, Deidara kept dodging Gaara's attacks. Gaara's sand had long been condensed into an arm of Shukaku, rushing towards Deidara with extremely powerful offensive force. This time, Deidara knew that if he was hit by this arm, it would most likely end directly. Deidara looked at the palm of his hand. The mouth of his palm was ready with a bomb, just waiting for Gaara to take the bait. Without hesitation, Deidara controlled the bird and dived directly, while Gaara also controlled the sand to continuously attack Deidara. The sand kept attacking in the air, and the bird controlled by Deidara kept dodging the attack. Finally, Deidara stopped in the air. The next thing is the fun. Deidara laughed. Then he made a move directly, almost in an instant. In his hand, it had already exceeded the small bird bomb that had been prepared. Boom boom boom. As the explosions continued to explode on Shukaku's arm, there was also a fire all around. The rumbling sound continued. What was even more serious was that the seemingly small number of flying birds, the bomb instantly split into dozens of them the moment it fell. They continued to spread to the surroundings, and at the same time, the fire all around almost became one piece. Even Gaara could only passively defend. The speed of the sand and stones could not catch up with Deidara. But Deidara could not cause any harm to Gaara. The sand was enough to resist most of the attacks. But the next moment, Deidara's mouth corners slowly curled up. Then he threw out two flying birds again in his hand. The only difference from the previous bombs was that the speed of these two flying birds was extremely fast, and they rushed at Gaara in almost an instant. Gaara had no time to defend, and could only hastily protect the sand in front of him to form a shield. At this moment, the flying bird had already rushed at Gaara and exploded. As the explosion sounded, the flames instantly engulfed Gaara. Gaara. Kankuro and Temari couldn't help but shout out when they saw this scene. Gaara is their younger brother. If anything happens to Gaara, they will lose a loved one again. This is something they can't accept. Grandma Chihayo stood on the balcony and looked at Gaara. Unlike others, Grandma Chihayo believed that Gaara would be able to escape from this explosion. And this war can be regarded as the last test for Gaara to inherit the position of Kazekage. If Gaara can successfully stand out on this test, then I believe that he will be able to become a very good Kazekage in the future. Lead everyone in the Sand Village to live a good life. Sure enough, when all the smoke dissipated, everyone looked at the sky again. But they found that Gaara's body had long been wrapped in sand, forming a round shell. At the same time, the eye of sand appeared in the void. This eye is connected to the retina and can help Gaara see the outside scene. Deidara stood on the bird and looked at the sand shell helplessly. It's just like the eggshell protecting the yolk, but it's really amazing that it can block that. Deidara looked at this scene and couldn't believe it. Because he had already proved before that the speed of sand was not as fast as his bird. Not to mention that the bird he used to deal with me just now was even faster than his current one. But now Gaara was staying in the sand without any damage, which was really too much. Sand coffin. And with Gaara's roar, Deidara realized that a large area of sand had gathered behind him at some point. The sand turned into arms and instantly wrapped Deidara. Deidara wanted to escape, but the bird was caught by the sand. Then the next moment he was also wrapped in the sand. Is it over? Kankuro looked at the two round shells in the sky. One of them wrapped the invader, and the other wrapped Gaara. When he saw this, Kankuro felt relieved. Because as long as the opponent enters Gaara's sand, he will die, or even if he doesn't die, he will be seriously injured. The strength of the sand will not let the opponent live. Great, it's worthy of Gaara. I didn't expect him to be so powerful. Yes, he protected the village and us from the invaders. Chihayo said that Gaara would become the next Kazekage. At that time, I was a little unconvinced. Gaara's temper before was, he would kill people at a disagreement. Even though he has changed a lot now, I am still afraid that Gaara will return to his previous nature. But what makes us think is that Gaara has really changed. He defeated the invaders and protected the village. Sure enough, Chihayo made the right decision. As long as there is Kazekage, there is nothing to worry about in our village. Everyone couldn't help but praise Gaara. At this moment, Chihayo looked at the sky. She has lived for many years and has much more combat experience than Gaara and others. so Tianyu could see that the person inside was still alive. Not only alive, but also seemed to be performing some kind of secret technique. Gaara, solve the opponent as soon as possible, don't delay. Tianyu couldn't help but yelled. But it was obviously too late for Tianyu to say this. The next moment, everyone saw the sphere that wrapped Deidara exploded instantly. Then Deidara's body rushed out of the sphere. The flying bird he controlled had long disappeared, and his body fell straight to the ground. But he had already prepared another flying bird in his hand. He was just waiting to get rid of the attack and then immediately ride the flying bird back to the sky. But Gaara's sand followed closely. Before Deidara could get out of the battle, he had already grabbed his ankle and swung it hard at Shukaku's spear. Deidara saw that he was about to hit. He threw out a huge flying bird instantly. The flying bird exploded directly. But this time it did not cause an explosion, but instead formed a huge software that directly wrapped Deidara. Then, Deidara rode the flying bird. He escaped directly from Gaara's attack. What annoying sand! The pursuit of the sand continued. And then it spread directly to Deidara's arm. Chapter 281 Giant Bomb. Gaara kept tightening his strength. The pain in Deidara's arm was getting stronger and stronger. He knew that if he didn't give up, it would not just be his arm that would be in trouble today. Deidara threw out the centipede-shaped bomb without hesitation. Instantly, it broke the connection between the sand and Gaara. But Deidara underestimated Gaara a little too much. Even though the sand had been separated from Gaara, he could still control the sand to kill people. Sand coffin. This time, Gaara did not hesitate. Instantly, blood continued to spread from Deidara's arm. Deidara forced himself to endure the pain and completely broke his arm. Then, he endured the severe pain and flew into the sky. It seems that you are really good at this. The sand attacking me is more powerful than before, both in speed and strength. But since I have lost an arm, I will use your life to make up for it. Deidara narrowed his eyes slightly, looking for Gaara's weakness. However, Gaara, who has absolute defense, is obviously the nemesis of his bomb. As long as he has that absolute defense, Gaara can survive the bomb. And he has not much detonating clay in his hand. If he continues to entangle like this, he may be the loser. I didn't want to kill people, but there is no other way, so let's destroy this village. Chizzy and others who were waiting at the entrance of the village once again looked up at the full moon in the sky. The moon tonight seemed to be particularly close to the ground. Standing at the entrance of the village, you can see all kinds of traces on the moon perfectly. What is Deidara doing? I have said it before, I hate waiting the most. The patience of the red sand scorpion is almost exhausted. If he can't help but join the battle, I am afraid that the sand village will be completely bloodbathed. The red sand scorpion doesn't care whether the sand village is the village he once stayed in. Now he is just a member of a dirty organization with blood on his hands. At this moment, because of the battle between Gaara and Deidara, many people in the sand village have come out to watch. The balcony, the rooftop, and the ground are full of ninjas and villagers. Will Gaara win? The others were a little worried when they saw this scene. Because the power of that person seems to be very strong. And now in their sand village, apart from some old strong men, only Gaara can take action and resist this enemy. If it were someone else, I'm afraid he would be killed instantly at the moment of attack. Black cloak, red cloud decoration, that person is Akatsuki. Temari looked at the clothes on Deidara and was immediately surprised. They are really familiar with Akatsuki, because the attack on Konoha's Chunin and the exam was done by Shimura Danzo and Akatsuki. In the end, Shimura Danzo was destroyed, and Akatsuki also lost a lot of elites and was beaten and fled. And they are the Sand Village and have lost a fourth generation of Kazakage and some of the Jonin. It is precisely because of this that the Sand Village has become the weakest village among the 5 great nations. So Temari has not forgotten the organization that caused them to fall to this point. The sand attack is still going on. Gaara's attack is much more fierce. This also makes Maki a little worried. At this moment, Gaara is using the sand in his gourd, which is the sand he uses for absolute defense. It can be seen that Gaara should be forced into a desperate situation at this moment. So if Gaara's chakra can no longer suppress the one-tailed Shukaku, then maybe Shukaku will go berserk and hurt the people in the village. So they still have to prepare early. Kankuro, you immediately take a team of people to block all the checkpoints in the village to prevent Shukaku from appearing and attacking the village. Maki ordered. No, Gaara will never hurt the people in the village, absolutely not. Kankuro refused directly. He even recalled a conversation he had with Gaara before. At that time, although the people in the village no longer verbally insulted and humiliated Gaara due to the order of Granny Chiyo, the fear could not be stopped. After all, the actions that Gaara had done before did scare them. And the road that Gaara was going to take next was too difficult. Even with the help of Granny Chiyo and them, the senior officials and elders in the village would probably not agree easily. And Kankuro will never forget Gaara's answer that day. I understand, but if you do nothing and just wait, there will be more pain. Only by working hard to create the future by yourself, without killing or more bloody means, will you be forgiven by others one day. Besides, you can also be like that guy. So I want to become a Kazekage and work hard for the future. The guy that Gaara was talking about was of course Uzumaki Naruto. Both of them are Jinchuriki, but they are on completely different paths. Now Naruto is accepted by almost everyone in Konoha. Everyone thinks that Naruto has a bright and brilliant future. Even Amaji supports Naruto to become the next Hokage. Since Naruto can do it, he can do it too. He can work hard to make others recognize his value. Maki was touched for some reason when he heard Kankuro's words. Then we must do a good job of protecting the village. The medical team should be dispatched quickly to treat the injured in time. The guards in the village should also be sent out to block all the roads in the village. There is a high possibility that there will be more than one enemy this time. We must be prepared for enemy reinforcements. Maki quickly gave the order. Humph, what annoying ants. What I hate most is to provoke these ants when I am fighting with others. But it seems that you really want to protect them, right? Then I want to see whether you want to protect yourself or this village. Deidara said, and threw a bomb down. The bomb was not big, but it suddenly grew countless times in the void. As soon as this bomb appeared, Gaara felt an unprecedented threat. It is conceivable that if this bomb fell on the sand village, it would cause great damage. I am afraid that the buildings in the center of the village would turn into dust and disappear in an instant. And countless ninjas and villagers would lose their lives. Deidara's method is not to be underestimated. Chapter 282, Lure the Tiger Away from the Mountain. It was like telling Gaara to choose between the village and his own life. If he chose himself, the village would be gone. If he chose the village, he would be exposed to Deidara's attack. The clay doll made by mixing the clay eaten in the hand and the chakra to detonate the clay, the killer is mixed with my highest level of chakra, C3, and made into a proud and most explosive masterpiece of art. If such a work of art falls into the village, the power of the explosion is enough to blow up the entire village. Gaara, I really want to see, between the village and yourself, who will you choose? Deidara looked at Gaara and laughed. Gaara looked at the bomb that was about to fall. He finally showed a panic on his face. However, it was too late to stop the bomb. When the doll fell into the air, it emitted an extremely bright golden light. This golden light was like daylight, instantly illuminating the sand village at night like daylight. Everyone looked at the golden light with surprise. They didn't know what it meant. But the next moment, the fire and explosion that represented death instantly covered the center of the village. And it was still spreading outward. The dust and flames around them spread in an instant. The earth shook. The airwave instantly knocked over many villagers. Some ninjas also struggled to resist the explosion under such an explosion. Many ninjas screamed. Obviously, many ninjas were seriously injured in Deidara's attack. However, when the smoke and dust of the explosion dissipated, what appeared in front of Deidara was not a village that had long been reduced to ruins. Instead, it was a piece of gravel. The dust had already covered the entire village. This piece of sand took almost all the force of the explosion for the villagers and buildings below. Haha. It's true. Deidara sneered at this scene. It was just as he expected. Gaara will definitely fight to the death to protect this village. There is no need to choose between himself and the village below. Gaara will definitely choose his village. The ninjas below were already prepared to die. But when they slowly opened their eyes, they found that they were completely intact. The previous explosion did not affect them at all. Looking up, everyone saw Gaara's sand covering the sky. It was obviously blocking all the explosions for them. This is Gaara's sand. It's amazing. You can actually make such a huge shield. You are worthy of Gaara. Yes, with Gaara here, the village can't be harmed at all. The other ninjas cheered when they saw this scene. Gaara is the most powerful. Not bad. Deidara stood on the bird and looked at Gaara. At this moment, Gaara's chakra was almost exhausted. After making this huge shield, he was even panting. You. Gaara wanted to say something. But at this moment, Gaara saw Deidara's mouth curled up. A sense of danger appeared beside him. Deidara stretched out his hands. Too late, huh? With Deidara's shout, a flying bird made of explosive clay instantly flew to Gaara's side. Then it exploded before Gaara had time to react. The flames directly enveloped Gaara. Are you protected? The ninjas below saw this scene and were all worried for Gaara in their hearts. After all, if he was really hit this time, I'm afraid Gaara would be seriously injured. Don't worry, Gaara's absolute defense will not be defeated so easily. Maki stood there to comfort everyone. Yes, Gaara is very powerful, we have to believe in him. Everyone nodded. Master Maki, the attack preparations are ready, and we can launch an attack at any time. At this time, a ninja came to Maki's side and reported the situation to him. Attack quickly. Maki immediately gave the order. Then, everyone began to prepare. Crossbows mixed with chakra that could attack the air appeared in everyone's hands. These crossbows were specially prepared by the ninja village to deal with enemies in the air. These crossbows all contain very powerful chakra. If one is accidentally shot, even a Jonin will be seriously injured. Although the person who is dealing with their sand village is a cage, under the simultaneous firing of thousands of arrows, no matter who it is, he will be shot into receive. Very powerful, you can react to this, you are indeed worthy of being a Jinchuuriki. Deidara was even more impressed. His previous attack was originally an unexpected attack. But he didn't expect Gaara to be able to defend it in the first time. This was beyond his imagination. But, Gaara, no matter what happens today, you will lose. Deidara's words had just finished. Gaara, who was wrapped in absolute defense, saw a spider made of detonating clay crawling into his killing. This. Gaara was shocked. You did cripple my left hand, but when your sand wrapped around my left hand, I had already swallowed a lot of your sand. Your sand mixed with my detonating clay and I spit it out directly, but at that time, I did not use the detonating clay. Instead, I used the C3 puppet to attract your attention and divert some of your absolute defense sand. Sure enough, when my explosion attacked, you really pulled out the sand in your gourd to protect the village, and when my next attack came, you could only use the rest of the sand to fill your absolute defense. In this way, you have already added the sand that I had mixed into the detonating clay to your absolute defense. Now, you have actively integrated my detonating clay into your defense circle, Gaara. No matter what, you will fail this time. But even so, I still admire you very much. You can exert your power to this extent. You are indeed worthy of being the one-tailed Jinchuuriki. Deidara sneered. Arta's explosion. A crazy look appeared in Deidara's eyes. Then, the absolute defense shell instantly burst into flames. This time, Gaara was unable to dodge. Sand continued to fall from the sky. The ninjas of the sand village below looked up at the sky. They all had a bad premonition in their hearts. Chapter 283 Gaara falls into the trap. Gaara, what's wrong? Maki asked in confusion. However, no one could answer his answer. Deidara looked at the absolutely defensive shell and couldn't help but feel happy. Now Gaara will definitely not escape. No, Gaara. Kenkuro's bad premonition became stronger and stronger. Thinking of this, he began to rush to the side of the crossbow regardless of everything. Then he grabbed the crossbow and aimed at Deidara in the sky and started firing. Oh, the attack of ants? It's a pity that without the Jinchuuriki, your attacks don't pose any threat to me at all. Deidara sneered and dodged. None of Kenkuro's attacks could hit Deidara. Enough, Kankuro. Gaara doesn't know what's going on now. If you lose your composure, won't it give others an opportunity to take advantage of you? Temari grabbed Kankuro and scolded him harshly. But, what about Gaara? Kankuro couldn't help but speak. But he looked at Temari's expression, gritted his teeth and stopped talking. In the sky, the sand was constantly falling off. Just like an egg being peeled bit by bit. In the end, when all the sand fell off, Gaara's body was already covered with scars. He lay on the last piece of sand that he could trust. At this moment, Gaara was already unconscious, and he was even about to faint the next moment. But at the last moment, Gaara still tried his best to use his last strength to control the sand that had protected the village before to leave the sand village. After all, Gaara knew that if he fainted, the sand would fall directly from the sky and hit the village hard. The sand that condensed his chakra would be like hail, and even if it didn't hurt anyone, it would damage the buildings of the sand village. One-tailed Jinchuuriki, you actually protect your village so much? You are really a weirdo. Deidara looked at Gaara's actions and was also a little puzzled. After all, before he defected to the Rock Village also had Jinchuuriki. But the Jinchuuriki didn't have a good life in the village. The villagers treated the Jinchuuriki like jackals and tigers. They didn't regard them as companions at all, but as enemies. They were sent to the battlefield only when they needed Jinchuuriki. Once the Jinchuuriki couldn't control the commission in his body and began to run wild, all the ninjas would use all their strength to suppress the tailed beasts. They didn't even care about the life and death of the Jinchuuriki. So some Jinchuuriki, even if they had a lot of feelings for the village before, would gradually become cold under such treatment. No matter where they lived before, after becoming Jinchuuriki, they would move to the most remote place in the village. Because in this place no one would disturb them, and they would not see fear and hatred from outsiders. And Deidara had never seen a Jinchuuriki like Gaara who actually cared about the village. Ahem, get out of the sand village. Gaara had no strength at this moment and could only fall limply on the sand. If this person wants to attack the sand village again, then Gaara will only have one last resort. That is to release the one-tailed Shukaku. But once the one-tailed Shukaku is released, it means that the tailed beast will no longer be controlled by Gaara. It is very likely that the one-tailed Shukaku will not only not deal with the enemy in front of it, but will also start to destroy the sand village. So unless there is really no other means, Gaara will never let the tailed beast appear. Outside the village. Scorpion of the red sand. The murderous intent in his heart is almost uncontrollable. Deidara has made him wait too long, and he can't wait any longer. Gaara, don't resist. I have no interest in your village. I came here just for you. My companions came with me, and you are now at the end of your strength. Even if you use your last strength to attack us, I'm afraid your village will not be able to be saved. So you might as well leave with us. In this way, I will not attack your village again. All these people here can be saved. This is the only way you can go now. Otherwise, if Scorpion can't hold back, he will definitely enter the sand village and kill people. He can destroy a city by himself. I don't think you want to see the sand village bloodshed. Deidara controlled Asuka and came to Gaara's side and looked at him. The last resort of the Jinchuuriki is to release the tailed beast, and now Deidara's chakra has been exhausted. If he still wants to fight the tailed beast, he can only let the red sand scorpion come to help. But he boasted in front of the leader that he could bring the Jinchuuriki back by himself. If he asked Scorpion to help at this time, it was no surprise that he would be ridiculed by Scorpion in the future. So he would never let Scorpion intervene. Gaara did not answer Deidara's words, he seemed to be thinking. However, the drowsiness in his mind was too much for Gaara to bear. In the end, Gaara didn't even have time to think, and he fell directly from the air. Seeing this, Deidara drove Asuka without hesitation and put Gaara behind Asuka. Got it. Deidara smiled. Obviously, in the end, even if he exhausted all the chakra in his body, Gaara was finally caught by him. Gaara! Kankuro and Temari shouted. Gaara was taken away, which meant that the sand village lost its strongest combat capability. This was undoubtedly a devastating blow to the sand village. For Kankuro and Temari, they would lose their only remaining relatives. Of course, the two of them would not give up. Quick, chase after him, and bring Gaara back safely. Temari gave the order directly. And those ninjas hurriedly chased Deidara away. But Deidara and his men had already made preparations for evacuation. When those ninjas were about to leave the entrance of the sand village, an explosion suddenly occurred. The detonating clay left at the entrance of the village exploded instantly, blocking those ninjas in the sand village. This also prevented those ninjas from chasing out in the first place. No, absolutely not, absolutely not, I will never let you take Gaara away. Kankuro looked at Deidara's figure getting farther and farther away. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 284 Kankuro's Pursuit. In his mind, he recalled the scenes of him and Gaara. There were scenes when Gaara gave him impatient orders when they were young, and there were also scenes when he tried to get close to Gaara but was frightened by Gaara and could not move. But what he recalled more in his mind at this moment were the changes that happened to Gaara after he came back from Konoha. Gaara learned to be gentle and restrained. He even began to learn how to get along with his family. After all, Gaara is Kankuro's younger brother, and it is absolutely impossible for him to watch Gaara being taken away and remain indifferent. I'll go too. Temari couldn't help herself and stood up to chase Gaara. Don't act rashly like this. You may fall into the enemy's trap alone. It won't be too late to chase after us after we gather a team. Maki just stopped Temari. As for watching for a long time, when Maki wanted to take action, he had already reached the next roof. If we wait until we form a team and then chase him, it will be too late. I don't know what they want to do with Gaara, but I know Gaara is my brother. No matter what happens, I will never let him be taken away by the enemy. After saying this, Kankuro turned and left. Kankuro, you have to be careful not to go too deep alone. You must bring Gaara back safely. Temari couldn't go over, so she could only tell Kankuro. Yes, I know. Kankuro nodded. Then he continued to chase Deidara without hesitation. Even if he had to pass through the explosion area containing detonating clay, Kankuro would not hesitate. Just when Kankuro was heading to the village entrance alone, some more ninjas came to his side. Kankuro, we will go with you. Yes, we will definitely bring Gaara back successfully. Everyone walked side by side with Kankuro. Kankuro looked at these people and was excited. Village entrance. Deidara finally came to the entrance of the Sand Village and met with a red sand scorpion. You finally came. You are so slow. You made me wait for so long. The red sand scorpion said with impatience. There was a little accident. I didn't expect the Jinchuriki to be so stubborn, so I played with him for a while longer. Deidara replied with a smile. Don't do this again next time. What I hate most is waiting. The red sand scorpion rarely mocked Deidara this time. Yes, It seems that there are guests coming. Red sand scorpion, you should have prepared a big gift for our guests. Deidara asked with a smile. It has been prepared a long time ago. The red sand scorpion answered without hesitation. When Kankuro and his friends arrived at the entrance of the village, they saw a pile of dead bodies. The Sand Village ninjas who were originally guarding the entrance of the village had already been killed by the red sand scorpion. They died miserably, and everyone's face was blue and purple. Obviously, each of them died of poisoning. Damn it. Seeing the tragic death of these people, Kankuro's anger became even stronger. If these people wanted to use dirty tricks, they could just attack directly. But hiding in the dark and killing their ninjas was simply too much. Chase quickly, we must not let Gaara fall into their hands. Kinjiro gritted his teeth and chased forward. Yes. Everyone nodded together. Then they planned to chase. But the next moment, among the team that followed Kinjiro, one person found a living person among the dead. There is still someone alive. We may be able to ask him what happened here. After the ninja said this, he went to check on the injured person. Don't move, this may be the enemy's conspiracy, little. After looking for a long time, before he had time to say this, he saw a detonating tag on the chest of the living person. Boom. With the explosion of the detonating tag, the people around were shrouded in it. Then the explosion of the detonating tag caused a chain reaction. Explosions began everywhere on the surrounding rock walls. Countless rocks rolled down, and everyone didn't notice it for a while. All of them were involved in the explosion. Kankuro was far away from the center of the explosion, so he was able to react immediately. He used the salamander as a defense and escaped the explosion. He also rescued two ninjas who had already fainted. Maki and Temari also came over quickly. What's the matter, Kankuro? Are you okay? Temari rushed to Kankuro and looked him up and down. Now Gaara has been taken away by them. Temari really couldn't accept that Kankuro was also dead. It's okay. Too many ninjas in the village were killed by them. If Gaara is not brought back as soon as possible, the village is likely to undergo major changes. You hurry up and send the medical ninjas to treat them. I'll go after Gaara now. Kankuro handed the two unconscious ninjas to Maki and said to him and Temari. But, Kankuro, that guy defeated Gaara. If you go after him alone, you will probably die. You'd better come back. We have already released the summoned beasts to monitor them. At their speed, they can't leave the Kingdom of Wind for the time being. Let's go back to the village and discuss it with Granny Chihuahua and the others. Maki looked at Kankuro and said. Because now the whole village has not only lost me, but also Gaara and some Jonin and Chunin, who were killed by Deidara and the Red Sand Scorpion. The strength of the Sand Village has been weakened again. Under such circumstances, if Kankuro is lost again, the whole village may really fall into crisis. Are we just going to watch Gar like this? I can't do it. Kankuro asked harshly. That's his brother, how can he watch his brother being captured without rescuing him? Yes, the two of us absolutely cannot watch Gaara get captured like this. Temari also stood on Kankuro's side at this moment. No, I'm not saying that we should go and save Gaara, but that we should come back and gather the army to kill them again. Otherwise, if we go one by one, we will just be sending our heads to others in vain. Maki said anxiously. I'm worried. If they want to send someone to track them, then send me. I think with my strength, if I don't take action and just follow them closely, I should be able to do it. Kankuro really couldn't stand this. He came out to save Gaara. Now he can't hide in the village alone. After saying this, Kankuro rushed out directly. Chapter 285, The Trap of the Red Sand Scorpion. An impulsive guy. Maki couldn't help but say. After hearing this, Temari glared at Maki fiercely. Maki didn't like Gaara very much since he was a child, so at this moment, although he was also worried in his heart after Gaara was captured, he was more worried that the village would no longer have a strong fighting force. He didn't take the initiative to care about Gaara. Therefore, Temari felt a little uncomfortable. Go back quickly, Granny Chiyo is still waiting for us to go back to discuss things. And Temari, don't leave alone like Kankuro, otherwise you are likely to fall into danger. At that time, we have to save more than just Gaara. Maki reminded Temari for the last time. Temari had no choice but to follow Maki and temporarily return to the village. In the meeting room of the village. At this moment, all the high-level officials of the Sand Village have gathered here. Gaara has been captured, Kankuro has now gone to track him, and I believe that the information will be sent to us soon, so what we have to do now is to gather the army and quickly take Gaara back. Granny Chiyo said to everyone. After the battle tonight, Chiyo has already recognized Gaara. Before, making Gaara the new Kazakage was just a stopgap measure. Gaara is the most powerful in the village. If he becomes the wind and rain, he can better protect the village. But now Chiyo has changed her mind about Gaara. Gaara, the Kazakage, is the one who can really do something for the Sand Village. He is the one who can take the initiative to protect the villagers in times of crisis. So it is perfect for him to become the 5th Kazakage. Okay, I think so too. Let's form an elite team and then go after Gaara immediately. Maki agreed. No, I don't recommend going after Gaara. You must know that the organization is full of cage-level strongmen. Even if we send an elite team, we can only die. Instead, it will weaken the power of the village. So I don't recommend that we go after Gaara. One of the elders voted against it. Me too. If we send an elite team to chase him, not only will we not be able to rescue Gaara, but the elite team will be completely destroyed. This is a disaster for the Sand Village, not to mention that we have already lost too many ninjas at the entrance of the village. This itself is enough to reduce our strength a lot. Other villages around us may also be ready to move. The news of Gaara's capture will not be blocked for long. At that time, they may compete with us for the status of the Wind Country Ninja Village. If there are not enough ninjas, we will eventually be replaced by others. Several other elders also spoke together. Their meaning was very clear, that is, to give up Gaara. And their reasons were very sufficient. What are you talking about? Gaara is my younger brother. He is the next Kazakage. How can we just watch him and do nothing? He just saved all of us under the enemy's attack. If we don't take action, this is repaying kindness with enmity. Temari couldn't help but yelled. Temari, don't get excited. I know that Gaara has been captured, and you must be very anxious in your heart, but you also have to think about the village. If we go to rescue Gaara now, how many people will we lose? And Gaara's loss is not unacceptable. As long as we treat Gaara as if he died in Konoha at the beginning, it will be fine. Another ninja looked at Temari so excited and couldn't help persuading her. But his words made Temari slap him hard in the face. What are you talking about? That's my brother. If you are not willing to help him, then I will go. Even if I die, I will bring Gaara back. Temari said to him sternly. Temari, you are too brave. Come on, give me Temari. The elder couldn't help but touch his face. It was the first time that he was slapped in the face by a junior in public. He couldn't help but want to punish Temari on the spot. Bang! That's enough, all of you stop it. Gaara must be rescued, but what the elder said is indeed right. If we send an elite team, it is very likely that the whole army will be wiped out. So this time I decided to ask for help from outside. Temari, you immediately write the current news of the Sand Village in a scroll, and then bring it to Konoha, asking Konoha's Tianyu to hurry up and rescue Gaara. As long as he can bring Gaara back, this time the Sand Village is willing to give a reward of 200 million. Granny Chiyo couldn't help but glared at the elder fiercely. Obviously, even Granny Chiyo was a little disappointed with what the elder said. After all, he just protected you and was captured, but you didn't want to rescue him, but asked him to die. No one could accept such a thing. Yes. After hearing this, Temari turned around and did it immediately. But when Temari passed by the elder, she looked at him fiercely. Obviously, this elder was remembered not only by Chiyo, but also by Temari. Being targeted by two vengeful women, it is conceivable that the elder's fate will not be good. Temari quickly organized what happened here into a letter, and then took it with her to Konoha overnight. When Temari left a meeting room, she found that the villagers of Sand Village had not rested. Why don't you go to bed quickly? Temari looked at everyone and couldn't help asking. Sister Temari, when will Brother Gaara come back? He promised me yesterday that he would accompany me to train today. A child holding a teddy bear walked in front of Temari and couldn't help asking. In the eyes of this child, it is obvious that he doesn't know what it means for Gaara to be captured. He just thinks that Gaara should have left the village to perform some mission. Gaara will be back soon, and he will definitely continue to train with you. Temari couldn't help feeling sad when she heard the child's words. But she was also happy for Gaara. Because since there are children willing to approach Gaara, it means that Gaara is becoming more and more accepted in the village. One day, Gaara will become the Kazakage that everyone in the Sand Village respects. Chapter 286 A Day in Konoha. Temari, you must bring Gaara back. The Sand Village cannot live without Gaara now. An adult couldn't help but say. Yes, if it wasn't for Gaara in the previous battle, I'm afraid we would have died, so we must bring Gaara back. Everyone couldn't help but pray. Gaara had already made the whole village recognize him through his efforts, so there was the scene now. Don't worry, no matter what, I will definitely bring Gaara back. Temari looked at everyone and nodded heavily. Then she turned around and left. Go to Konoha. At the same time in Konoha, Tianyu was sitting in the Ichiraku ramen, watching Naruto who was slurping ramen non-stop. He smacked his lips in surprise. Naruto's speed of eating ramen now is like a starving ghost reincarnated. In less than 15 minutes, he ate 3 bowls of ramen. This is a big bowl of ramen with meat and eggs. Even if ordinary people are hungry, they will be almost full after eating 2 bowls. But Naruto, it looks like he can eat 3 or 4 more bowls. Tianyu couldn't help but look at Naruto's stomach. He found that it was not bulging. It seems that Naruto really has a stomach that does not belong to this dimension. Uncle Shouta, another bowl. Naruto raised his hand without hesitation. Okay, Naruto seems very energetic today. I'll add a few more pieces of barbecued pork to your next bowl. It's my treat. Uncle Shouta couldn't help but smile. Seeing that Naruto likes to eat Ichiraku ramen so much, even Shouta was very pleased. Wow, that's great. Naruto couldn't help but nod. Soon the ramen came up, and Naruto started to wolf it down again. Sure enough, after Naruto finished the 4th bowl, he asked for another bowl. While waiting for the next bowl of ramen to be served, Tianyu finally found a chance to talk to Naruto. Naruto, Jiraiya, it's not that I don't give you food, you just went out to practice with him for 3 months. How come when you come back to the village, it's like you haven't had a full meal in 8 lifetimes? Tianyu couldn't help laughing. Although according to Tianyu's wealth, even if no one comes here every day, eating 10 bowls of ramen here is enough for Naruto to eat for more than 2,000 years. But this way of eating still makes Tianyu smack his lips. Yes, well, of course the Sessinin fed me enough, but the food he cooked was tasteless, and every time he used rice balls or military pills to fool me. Once we practiced to a river, I finally caught such a big fish. Naruto gestured with his hands. The fish was at least as big as Naruto's whole body. It was really a big fish. But you also know that I don't know how to use fire escape technique. If I use the detonating talisman, the fish will probably be blown into pieces, and no one will be able to eat it. So I prayed that the seductive immortal could light a fire for me, but you know what? The seductive immortal ignored me completely, and said that if there is no fire, don't eat fish, and rice balls and soldier pills are fine. I was almost mad to death when I heard that, so I could only use my specialty, the seduction technique. When the old man Jiraiya saw my seduction technique, as expected, a ball of fire immediately roasted the fish, and I could have a good meal. But later, the seductive immortal complained to me, saying that my transformation was only for a moment, and he didn't even enjoy it, and was thinking of using me for material or something. Can you believe it? So after I finished my cultivation, I immediately kicked the seductive immortal away, and came to find you, brother Tianyu. When Naruto talked about this experience, he couldn't help crying. After all, he was really sad when he talked about it. Alice, it's not easy for you either. Listening to Naruto's words, Tianyu couldn't help but sigh, and then touched Naruto's head. Store owner, in the next 3 days, I will pay for Naruto's food. No matter how much Naruto eats, I will pay for it. Tianyu looked at the hand-beating uncle and said, Okay, it really is worthy of being Tianyu brother. Naruto couldn't help laughing. Okay, go home quickly after dinner, you still have your mission tomorrow. You and Sakura have been reassigned to Kakashi's team, and you will go on missions together in the future. Tianyu reminded with a smile. Okay. Naruto seemed very motivated. He has been training with Jiraiya for the past 6 months, and his strength has also improved significantly. This time when he goes on a mission, it is just the time for Naruto to prove his strength. That's so cool. Tianyu went home first. And Naruto continued to eat ramen in a charcoal ramen restaurant. Konoha seemed peaceful, with bright lights and feasting. All the villagers were enjoying the peace here. At the same time, Temari was rushing to Konoha without stopping. Her mind was full of memories of Gaara's previous injuries. She couldn't help but have wild thoughts in her mind. Until the end, Temari couldn't help but shake her head. She shook off those images completely from her mind. No, Gaara will never get into trouble. After thinking of this, Temari's speed became faster. The next morning, Izumo and Kotetsu had just removed the barrier protection of Konoha's gate. They saw Temari had already arrived at the gate of Konoha. At this moment, Temari's chakra had been exhausted. She was lying weakly in front of Konoha's gate. After seeing Konoha's barrier being opened, she couldn't help but reach out. What's wrong with you? Izumo and Kotetsu saw Temari like this, so they immediately came to Temari and asked her about her situation. Save Gaara. Temari fainted before she finished her words. Izumo and Kotetsu recognized that Temari was from the Sand Village and had been to Konoha before. And now that she appeared in Konoha, there must be an emergency. So Izumo called the medical team on the one hand, and on the other hand, reported the situation here to Tsunade in the Hokage's office as soon as possible. What? Temari fainted at the gate of Konoha. Tsunade frowned immediately after hearing the news. This is not good news. Temari is a ninja from the Sand Village after all. If this matter gets out, it may have some impact on Konoha's reputation. Lady Tsunade, no matter what, the most important thing now is to cure Temari as soon as possible, and let her wake up, and then ask about the situation in the Sand Village. Shizune persuaded. You are right, take me to the Konoha hospital. Chapter 287 Temari arrives. After hearing this, Tsunade put down the documents she was reviewing, and then went to Konoha Hospital with Shizune. But before she left, Tsunade thought for a long time. Go find Tianyu, tell him the news here, and ask him to go to Konoha Hospital and wait for me. Tsunade ordered the Anbu. Yes. The Anbu hiding in the dark nodded quickly. Then disappeared directly. Early in the morning, Tianyu got up, washed up, and was sitting in the corridor of his home, admiring the small bridge and the flowing water, enjoying the delicious breakfast made by Tiantian for him. Ah, such a day is really comfortable, even if you are given a Hokage, you won't change it. Tianyu couldn't help but sigh. Brother, it's not that you won't change it even if you are given a Hokage. It's obviously because you despise the Hokage and have to sit in the office to review documents all day without any freedom, so you are not happy, okay? Tiantian couldn't help but say while holding the spatula. After all, what her brother said was really too Versailles. If some people who want to become Hokage heard this, they would be so angry that they would vomit blood. Tiantian, my good sister, since you know it, don't expose it. Besides, life is perfect now, why bother to make trouble? And, Tiantian, if you don't go back to the kitchen, your fried egg will be burnt. Tianyu said with a smile. Ah, my fried egg. Tiantian heard this and immediately turned around and ran to the kitchen without hesitation. looking at Tiantian's back as she ran away. Tianyu picked up the tea on the table and drank it all. Well, it's really youth. Tianyu sighed. But before he could sigh for long, an Anbu knelt down in front of Tianyu. Tianyu, the Hokage has ordered you to go to Konoha Hospital as soon as possible. There is something important. The Anbu knelt on one knee in front of Tianyu and said respectfully. Alice, it seems that my perfect vacation will be ruined again. Let's go. Tianyu shook his head immediately after hearing the Anbu's words. After putting the last bite of breakfast into his mouth elegantly and wiping his mouth with a handkerchief, Tianyu looked up at the Anbu. Let's go. After these two words fell, the figures of Tianyu and the Anbu disappeared in the house at the same time. The omelette is ready. Although it's a little fuzzy this time, I have already done emergency treatment. I believe it will be very good. Humph, annoying brother. When Tiantian came to Tianyu's position, he saw the scene where Tianyu had disappeared. He snorted coldly. His mouth pouted. Konoha's hospital. Outside the ward. Tianyu met Tsunade here. What's going on? You are in a hurry to find me to come to Konoha Hospital so early in the morning. Is there something wrong with a ninja in the village? Who is it? Kakashi and Might Guy. They haven't left the village these days, and they are carrying out some dangerous missions. Logically, they shouldn't go to the hospital, or is it Jiraiya? When he went to the women's bathhouse to collect materials, was he discovered and beaten up? Tianyu didn't know what was going on. But since he was in the hospital, this matter would definitely be difficult to deal with. No, but compared to that, I hope that Jiraiya was beaten to the hospital. He should have some memory. Tsunade said unhappily when she heard Jiraiya's name. After all, Jiraiya is really too outrageous. At the beginning, he could be more restrained when he was in the village, and he was always collecting folk songs outside. But now Tsunade has received countless complaints from the women's bathhouse in Konoha. Although Jiraiya disguised himself very well every time and did not let others discover his identity. But Tsunade has already accumulated a lot of commissions. They are all commissions issued by the women's bathhouse, trying to find the perverted and wolf who peeked at women taking a bath. Faced with these commissions, even Tsunade didn't know what to say. After all, Jiraiya is one of the 3 ninjas of Konoha, and he has to have some face. Tsunade can't let people know that Jiraiya is the culprit who peeked at the women's bathhouse. Otherwise, what would this be? What's going on? Tianyu frowned. The fact that Tsunade could say such a thing meant that this time the matter was very likely to be serious. Temari collapsed at the gate of Konoha early in the morning. It seems that her chakra was exhausted. She was able to reach Konoha from Sand Village overnight. Something must have happened in Sand Village, otherwise Temari would not be like this. However, due to the previous agreement, the spies sent by Konoha to Sand Village have been withdrawn. And because Sand Village can no longer threaten Konoha, I have not sent spies there. Now I have no way to grasp the situation of Sand Village. I can only wait until Temari wakes up. Tsunade sighed. Oh. Hearing this, Tianyu also began to frown. Temari came over. Something happened in Sand Village. It seems that Sand Village is destined to be in turmoil again. Tsunade-sama, Tianyu-sama, Temari has woken up and is asking to see you now. Konoha's doctor hurriedly ran out of the ward, and saluted Tsunade and Tianyu. Okay. We will go there now. Tsunade nodded. Then she and Tianyu entered the ward together. Temari had already woken up at this moment, but she was still a little weak. But the next moment when Temari saw Amaji and Tsunade, she jumped up from the bed as if she had been injected with chicken blood. She walked on the ground and then quickly knelt down in front of Amaji. Please, Lord Amaji, save my brother, save Gaara. Temari couldn't help but shed tears. Now that they were in Konoha, Temari knew that someone who could save her brother had finally appeared. Don't be like this, get up quickly. What happened in the Sand Village? What happened to Gaara? Amaji stepped forward and helped Temari up, and immediately asked. At this time, Amaji had a bad idea in his mind. According to the plot on the original work, the Akatsuki organization wanted to capture the one-tailed man, and the Tsurugi was after Gaara became the 5th generation Kazekage. In other words, the Akatsuki organization would not take action completely until Gaara was 15 years old. But now, I am afraid that because of the butterfly effect, the Akatsuki organization has taken action in advance. Of course, this is the worst plan. It could also be that Gaara is unable to control the Shukaku in his body, causing the one-tailed Shukaku to go berserk. Yes, you should get up quickly. You don't need to do such things in Konoha. Besides, we are now allies with the Sand Village. We need to help each other. If anything happens to your village, Konoha will definitely help you. Tsunade couldn't help but say. Chapter 288. The plot starts early. But she knew in her heart that the fact that Temari, the daughter of the Kazakage, could do such a thing meant that what happened in the Sand Village was not a small matter. It was a big matter that the Sand Village could not solve. It seemed that things were a bit troublesome. Okay, let me tell you, last night, the Sand Village held a meeting. Granny Chiyo asked Gaara to become the 5th Kazakage. Although everyone was not very willing, they all voted in favor in the end. But that same night, a man in a red cloud robe came to the Sand Village. This man had blonde hair and was controlling a giant white bird. This man's methods are very special. He can use clay bombs. Gaara fought with him. Originally, the two were evenly matched in strength. The man couldn't possibly cause any harm to Gaara, but he actually used puppets and wanted to attack the village. In order to protect the village, Gaara was caught by the man and defeated. Then the man took Gaara away. The people we sent out to chase him haven't sent back any news yet, but the man must have accomplices, and they are very powerful, so I came here to ask for help. Lord Amory, I beg you to help me bring Gaara back. The Sand Village can't live without Gaara. He's going to become the 5th Kazakage. I can't live without Gaara either. If you're willing to agree, Master Amaji, Chiyo said she can pay 200 million ryo. We just want Gaara to come back safely. Temari quickly explained the whole story. This also made Amaji understand that Akatsuki, who had been immersed for a while, had made a comeback. And their target was the tailed beast. But for some reasons, the timeline was advanced. But this did not change Gaara's ending. Gaara was eventually captured by Deidara for protecting the village. Then Deidara and the others would take Gaara to the secret camp of the Akatsuki organization. At that time, they would use the Outer Path Demon statue to extract the one-tailed Shukaku from Gaara's body. In this way, the Jinchuriki who lost the tailed beast would be dead. What Akatsuki organization has made another move? This is simply disgusting. Tsunade's eyes flashed with fire after hearing the news that the Akatsuki organization had made another move. Last time, the Akatsuki organization joined forces with Danzo and wanted to attack Konoha and destroy the entire Konoha. But fortunately, they had Tianyu here at that time, so they couldn't succeed. But now they are actually targeting the Sand Village directly and taking away the Jinchuriki. This is simply arrogant. It's really disgusting. Tianyu, what do you think? After saying this, Tsunade quickly looked at Tianyu. To be honest, this time Tsunade wanted to support the Sand Village. She wanted to bring Gaara back. But Tsunade also knew that if she did this, Tianyu would have to take action. So she had to ask Tianyu for consent. I promise, don't worry, I will bring Gaara back, and I can even ask for your money, but I have a request. As long as you agree to my request, I will bring Gaara back. Tianyu looked at Temari and said. This, what request? Temari was overjoyed when she heard this. But she didn't forget to ask Tianyu what the request was. After all, if they can't do what Tianyu asked because they have to kill people, then that's not possible. You can't make the decision on my request. Let's talk about it after I go to the Sand Village and meet Grandma Chiyo. Also, your chakra has been exhausted. I'm afraid you need to rest for 2 or 3 days before your body can recover. During this time, you should temporarily live in Konoha. Konoha will guarantee your personal safety. Tianyu looked at Temari and said. Okay, then I'll leave it to you, Lord Tianyu. Please save Gaara. Temari looked at Tianyu and was very grateful. You're welcome. Tianyu nodded. Then he turned around and left the ward. Tsunade also said a few polite words to Temari and left the ward as well. In the Hokage's office. Tianyu, what do you think about this matter? Tsunade knew that when Tianyu mentioned that condition, he should have had a solution. So even the reward was thought out. No idea. Anyway, this time, since Akatsuki is coming with such a strong momentum, we should just take it. I was able to kill Akatsuki's conspiracy before, and it's the same now. It's just that we have wasted a night. Gaara may have left the Kingdom of Wind at this moment. We have to speed up. Tianyu looked at Tsunade and said. When Tsunade heard this, she knew that Tianyu must have his own plan in mind, but he couldn't say it now. So she stopped asking. Okay, no problem. If you want to leave Konoha, you can leave at any time. And if you want anyone to help you, you can also do it. As long as the ninjas in the village don't have their own missions, you can dispatch them at will. Tsunade said. Well, if that's the case, then I want my guy, Hatake Kakashi, Sakura, Naruto, as well as Neji and Tenten. Tianyu thought for a moment and made a decision. Well, will Tenten go this time too? Tsunade couldn't help asking after hearing Tenten's name on the list. Yes, in the past 6 months, Tiantian has been training according to the training method I provided. Her strength has already improved significantly. Although the missions she has participated in so far are not advanced, this time is just an opportunity to hone her skills. Moreover, with me leading the team, there will be no danger. Tianyu said directly. After all, the strength of a ninja should be tempered on the battlefield. Otherwise, it would be just talk without going to the battlefield. Everything is in vain. Well, I understand what you said. Since you have made a decision, I will agree. But speaking of it, Naruto came to me to complain last night, saying that after he came back, the tasks I gave him were too simple. They were either walking with an old lady or catching someone's lost cat. I finally waited for a C-level mission, but it turned out to be a guard for a noble. I had to stand there for a whole day. There was no excitement at all. At that time, I taught Naruto that people should do these basic tasks well now, and there will naturally be A-level tasks or even S-level tasks for him to do in the future. Chapter 289 Heading to the Sand Village. I didn't expect that what I said would come true. Even if he is not the main attacker, the mission assigned to him today is probably already S-level. It is really exciting to have 2 or more Akatsuki Cage-level warriors. Tsunade couldn't help laughing. That's great. This action may allow Naruto to see his shortcomings. In the future, he will not clamor for S-level missions. It's the best of both worlds. Tianyu also laughed. The morning in Konoha is sunny and full of energy. Naruto climbed out of the bed. After washing up, he was full of energy and wanted to complete today's mission. But before he had time to find Sakura and Kakashi, he was taken to the Hokage's office by the Anbu. When Naruto opened the door of the Hokage's office, he saw that many people had gathered in the office. Kakashi, Sakura, Might Guy, Lee, Tenten, Neji and others were all here. What's going on? It's just a simple delivery mission. There's no need. You all should go. And there's also Brother Tianyu. Naruto was a little confused. Naruto, don't look so stupid. It's obvious that our mission has changed. Sakura couldn't help but say. She even couldn't help but wave her fist. If it wasn't because this was in the Hokage's office, Sakura's fist would have hit Naruto's head. This scene made Tianyu frown. Naruto, come here. Tianyu waved his hand. Okay, Brother Tianyu. Naruto came to Tianyu happily. Since we are all going to carry out the same mission and are in the same team, we are all teammates. Since we are teammates, we should treat each other equally. Moreover, we are all ninjas from the same village, and we are teammates. There should be no oppression or bullying. Things like beating and scolding teammates should never happen. Otherwise, it would be fine if it was a ninja like Naruto who is good-tempered and doesn't care about it. But if it is a ninja who holds a grudge, then during the character's actions, your back is not exposed to the teammate you trust, but to the person who holds a grudge. If you don't want to lose your life because you can't get along with your teammates, I hope you can respect your teammates in the future. Tianyu said sternly. Hearing this, everyone nodded. They said they had learned their lesson. Xiaoying's face was very ugly. Obviously, Tianyu's words just now were about her. But he still gave Xiaoying some face and didn't mention her by name. Well, now that everyone has understood, let me tell you about this mission. The Akatsuki organization came to the Sand Village and took Gaara away. Their target is the one-tailed Shukaku in Gaara's body. Once the tailed beast leaves the Jinchuriki will die, so we have to take Gaara back before the other party extracts the tailed beast from Gaara's body. The opponents of this mission are 2 cage-level strongmen. The level of the mission is S-level, so this mission is full of dangers. I hope everyone will listen to their captain with peace of mind. Do you understand? Tianyu looked at everyone and said. Yes, I understand. Naruto couldn't help but get excited when he heard this. He originally thought that the mission he was going to perform today was only C-level. But he didn't expect that it would jump directly to S-level. This is really great. Don't worry, Brother Tianyu. We will definitely bring Gaara back safely. That guy is a Jinchuriki like me. I also heard that he has made a lot of changes after returning to his village. I, Uzumaki Naruto, have already regarded him as a friend, and I will never let him be captured by those bad guys in the Akatsuki organization. Naruto patted his chest and said seriously. Well, I believe you can do it. Tianyu nodded. Let's go. With Tianyu's order, everyone left Konoha and went to the Sand Village. Konoha Hospital, in the ward. Temari couldn't help but lean on the window and look into the distance. When she saw Tianyu leaving Konoha with a team of people, her tightened heart finally let go. Gaara, hold on a little longer. Tianyu will come to save you soon. Please hold on a little longer. Temari couldn't help but pray. The Flying Thunder God technique couldn't transfer so many people at once. So, Tianyu could only take them away little by little. The first group that Tianyu brought was Kakashi's group. 3 people were Tianyu's limit at the moment. When everyone was brought to the Sand Village, Tianyu's chakra had been consumed by 1/3. But these were all trivial matters. After everyone arrived at the Sand Village, Tianyu led everyone to the Sand Village. At the entrance of the village, Maki had been waiting for someone from Konoha. After seeing Tianyu coming, Maki rushed over as if he had seen a savior. Lord Tianyu, thank you for coming to the Sand Village in your busy schedule. The whole village is grateful. Maki said hurriedly. Okay, I don't want to listen to your flattering words. They are all a waste of time. Take me to see Grandma Chiao quickly. Tianyu frowned. It's already this time, and Maki is still saying this. It seems that there are really no outstanding ninjas in the Sand Village now. Otherwise, people like Maki would never be allowed to become high-level officials. Before, those people in Konoha who only know how to flatter and have no real ability were kicked out of Konoha's decision-making level by Tsunade early on. If you want to get a position in Konoha to manage others, you must be very strong. Otherwise, if you are a person who can't even protect your subordinates, then what kind of man are you? Yes, here, Grandma Chiao is waiting for you. Maki was a little embarrassed after being scolded. He had no choice but to touch his nose and smile to ease the current embarrassment. Then he took Tianyu and the others directly to the Kazukage's office. Along the way, the ninjas of the Sand Village were in a hurry. She and the others didn't see many villagers, but all the villagers who came out had solemn expressions on their faces. Even the children's faces were less smiling. It seems that the entire Sand Village is now on alert. Gaara's capture has made the whole village uneasy. Now the strongest fighting force of the Sand Village has been captured, if they can come back alive and safely. Chapter 290 Arriving at the Sand Village. It means that the Sand Village will lose a cage-level warrior. This is almost a devastating blow to them. Looking at the smiles on the faces of these children, you can imagine how fierce the battle last night must have been. Sakura couldn't help but sigh. But that Gaara is really a bit strange. If you can't beat him, just run away quickly. Why does he have to stay where he is? Sakura was a little puzzled. As soon as this sentence was said, Tianyu once again successfully felt her ignorance. Everyone in the Sand Village glared at her for a while. Sakura looked at everyone, and for some reason, she felt a little scared and didn't dare to speak again. That's enough. Although you are from Konoha, you are not allowed to slander Gaara-sama like this. Gaara-sama didn't leave to protect us. What do you know? That's right. If Gaara-sama escaped, he would have left long ago and would not care about us at all. In that case, our village would be blown up. But Gaara-sama, in order to save us, used his own strength to fight against the enemy, which led to his being taken away. You don't understand everything Gaara-sama has done for the village. The ninjas of the Sand Village couldn't help but glare at Sakura. Sakura's face turned pale after saying this. Sakura didn't know what else to say. Okay, Sakura, don't speak later. Tianyu stopped their behavior. Yes. Sakura lowered her head when she heard this. For some reason, her heart was full of grievances. She was just asking a question, but everyone hated her and targeted her. The Sand Village is really not a good place. Sakura. Kakashi patted Sakura's shoulder to comfort her. Kakashi knew that Sakura didn't mean to ask this. But to be honest, what she said was indeed a little inappropriate. No wonder others were rude to her. Kakashi protected Sakura, and the others followed behind Tianyu. Under the leadership of Maki, they quickly came to the office of the Kazukage. At this time, in the office of the Kazukage, there were not only Granny Chiao, but also some old guys. This time, Gaara was captured, which was a big deal, and they all came. Lord Tianyu, you are here. Granny Tianyu saw Tianyu coming and couldn't help but stepped forward. Well, you're welcome. Now Konoha has formed an alliance with the Sand Village, so if the Sand Village is in trouble, Konoha will definitely come to help you. Tianyu said with a smile. Yes, we are allies. I believe Temari must have told you the news here, so I hope you can set off immediately and bring Gaara back. Of course, the Sand Village will also assist you, and I will go with you. Granny Tianyu couldn't help but say. No need, just give me their general direction, and you can just wait for the news in the Sand Village. Granny Tianyu, you are already very old now. If you go out rashly, you may bring yourself trouble. Tianyu refused directly. Okay, then I will wait for your good news here. Kankuro has already gone to chase them. I believe he will bring the news here soon. You can wait here for a while. Maki, take the guests to rest quickly. Granny Tianyu ordered. Yes. Maki nodded. No need, actually I have another request, and I want Granny Tianyu to agree. Tianyu looked at Granny Tianyu and said with a smile. Request. Yes, I don't need the reward from the Sand Village. It's not easy for you. Let you use the 200 million taels to build the village. I just want you to agree to one request of mine. It's the reward for asking me to help this time. Tianyu replied with a smile. What is this request? Tianyu was indeed tempted. After all, if they could pay less money, the finances of the Sand Village would be relieved. But this request was too big. I don't know what it would include. Don't worry, it will definitely not be a request that will embarrass you. After I bring Gaara back, I will mention it to you. If you don't want to, I can give you corresponding compensation. Tianyu said with a smile. Okay, I agree. Tianyu nodded. After all, Tianyu is still very credible. And he did help them a lot in the Sand Village. Especially for Gaara. If Konoha hadn't influenced Gaara, I'm afraid Gaara would still be a threat in the village. Just for this, the Sand Village owed Konoha and Tianyu a favor. Very good. Tianyu nodded. Then he turned around and a group of people followed Maki to rest first. This is a guest room with nice decoration. There are all kinds of things in it, and the environment is also very good. Although everyone is not tired, they still take the time to rest after coming in. After all, if they wait a while, they may not be able to rest for a long time. Tianyu also closed his eyes and began to rest. Only Tiantian seemed to be in the Sand Village for the first time. She felt that everything was new and was looking around. Tianyu did not stop his sister's behavior. After all, Tiantian rarely came out. If there was a chance to have a good time, it would not be bad. At the same time, Kanjiro, who was chasing Gaara in the desert, finally succeeded in catching up with Deidara and the Red Sand Scorpion. Damn it, give Gaara back to me quickly. Kanjiro finally caught up with him. At this moment, Kanjiro had long forgotten the instructions of Maki and others. When he found Gaara, he rushed up to them and asked them to hand over Gaara. Oh, it's the pursuit team from the Sand Village. But they underestimated us too much? They only sent one person. But he looks familiar to me. Gaara from the Sand Village seems to have several brothers and sisters. He should be Gaara's brother. Is his name Kanpachiro or Kanaichan? Deidara recognized Kankuro. He deliberately didn't say Kankuro's name to irritate him. It's Kankuro, you bastards, I tell you, I will never let you off this time. Kankuro was irritated as expected. He controlled the chakra puppet crow with his index finger and attacked Deidara in the air. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 291. One condition, Kankuro injured. But it was directly opened by the puppet amber of the Red Sand Scorpion with its tail. Oh, then your opponent is me. The Red Sand Scorpion walked in front of Kankuro and stared at Kankuro with his amber eyes. Don't just stand there and watch, hurry up and don't delay the mission. The Red Sand Scorpion did not hesitate to let Deidara leave. Okay, that's it. Deidara smiled and turned to leave. Damn it, if that's the case, then I'll knock you down first and then go rescue Gaara. Kankuro is very confident in his puppet technology. The puppets he uses are all the most powerful in the Sand Village. And he is now the best puppet master in the village. He and Gaara are two different types of ninjas. His strength is second only to Gaara. The reason why Gaara was defeated was to protect the village, but now it is far away from the Sand Village. Kankuro has no worries and can perfectly exert his strength. But after hearing this, Deidara, who had already boarded the flying bird and was about to leave, could not help but sneer. At the same time, he mocked in his heart. If you use a puppet, then you are definitely not a match for the red sand scorpion. This time, you have hit the gun. I really don't know how miserable he will be this time. Let's mourn for him. Let me show you my puppet show. After Kanjiro said this, the crow and black ant in his hand went directly to the red sand scorpion. And they kept circling the red sand scorpion, looking for the flaws of the red sand scorpion at an extremely fast speed. At the same time, the crow was still firing kunai and shuriken to interfere with the red sand scorpion's observation. But the kunai and shuriken could not cause any damage to the red sand scorpion. They were directly opened by the red sand scorpion with its amber tail. It's quite capable, but it ends here, Kanjiro said, and the ant puppet came out directly from the ground, and in an instant, it pushed the red sand scorpion into the sky. I guess you didn't notice the disappearance of the ant, so it's over. The ant's chest and abdomen were opened, and the red sand scorpion fell into the ant's body without resistance. Finally, the crow puppet's body mechanism opened and instantly split into countless. Black secret technique, machine one-shot. As Kanjiro's voice fell, the crow instantly inserted into the black ant's puppet. The end of the play. Kanjiro looked at the red sand scorpion that had been locked in the black ant's body, and the corners of his mouth curled up. But soon, sand began to flow out of the black ant's body. Sand clone. Kanjiro was shocked. When he opened the black ant, he found that the red sand scorpion inside was just a sand clone. The real red sand scorpion had already quietly come behind Kanjiro. No. Kanjiro saw this scene, his eyes dodged, and then avoided the attack of the red sand scorpion. The crow and the black ant also kept changing their positions and began to attack. But no matter how Kankuro attacked, he still couldn't hurt Scorpion. Even the assassins didn't even move their bodies, but they blocked most of Kankuro's attacks. What on earth is going on? Kankuro's face turned pale. Now it was as if his every move was seen through, and what he was going to do next was already predicted. In front of this man, Kankuro seemed to have no privacy and could be spied on at will. It seems that you don't have any tricks. Scorpion looked at Kankuro with disdain. How is it possible? Kankuro gritted his teeth, and then the crows and black ants continued to shoot black marbles with poison. At the same time, countless Senbon silvers attacked Scorpion directly. Scorpion's body was filled with poison. When the poisonous fog dissipated, Kankuro looked at Scorpion again, but found that Scorpion was actually unharmed. How is it possible? Kankuro was shocked. Each of his attacks was enough to kill an elite Jonin. And before the opponent knew his puppet's secret technique, he should have been able to deal with this person. But every time he was slapped in the face by his opponent, he was unable to cause damage to his opponent, which was also a difficult thing for Kanjiro to say. It's not my rule to keep others waiting. Since you have finished fighting, then it's my turn to counterattack. After the red sand scorpion said this, the amber tail directly attacked Kanjiro. Boom! Kanjiro summoned the salamander to block this attack. Don't think about it. The salamander's defense is perfect. You will never be able to break through the salamander's defense. Kanjiro said confidently. That's not necessarily true. The red sand scorpion sneered, and then accompanied by the action of the puppet amber. The amber tail directly destroyed the salamander's defense in an instant. Completely collapsed. How is this possible? How can you see through the weakness of the salamander at a glance? Kanjiro was a little unbelievable. However, before Kanjiro got the answer, Amber's tail appeared directly from the desert, and then pierced Kanjiro's body. In an instant, the poison on the Amber's tail entered Kanjiro's body. Kanjiro's body was pushed up to the sky, and then fell heavily to the ground. Blood splattered everywhere. The body could not move at all because of the poison. Yes, the defense of the salamander is indeed very strong, but no matter how strong the puppet is, the part that can move must be much weaker than other parts. As long as you attack these parts, you can achieve unexpected results. After Kanjiro lost his ability to move, the red sand scorpion looked at him and said slowly, "You, no, why?" Kanjiro stretched out his hand, as if he still wanted to attack the red sand scorpion. But the poison had paralyzed his whole body, and soon, he couldn't even move his hands. He could only fall in the desert in embarrassment. And his 3 puppets were completely destroyed in the battle with the red sand scorpion. The parts of the puppets in the sand fell to the ground, a mess. You probably want to know why I can see through your actions every time. No matter how you attack, you can't escape my eyes, because the one who created the crows, ants and salamanders is none other than me. What? No, why? Kankuro didn't understand. Because Scorpion had left the Sand Village more than 20 years ago. To the Sand Village, Scorpion was a traitor. Chapter 292 News. But his puppet-making skills are very exquisite, and now he has met the Red Sand Scorpion. It is no wonder that his attack method was seen through by the Red Sand Scorpion. Because the 3 puppets he used were made by him. But the Red Sand Scorpion obviously would not answer his question. Since you want to live, I will not kill you. But the poison in your body can only let you live for another 3 days. I hope you can survive within 3 days, but for you who are now in the desert, this is probably a luxury. After saying this, the red sand scorpion turned and left. His back was getting farther and farther away, and soon he could not see it. And the poison in Kankuro's body was running, and gradually he could not move his whole body. But Kankuro still used the last strength to seal the information here in the scroll, and then sent it back to the Sand Village. Kankuro's information has been transmitted back. The intelligence team of the Sand Village has been guarding their posts, and they are all waiting for Kankuro's information. When the sealed scroll was transmitted back, they quickly decrypted the contents of the scroll and handed it to Grandma Chiao. Red Sand Scorpion. Granny Chiao first read the previous report, but when she saw the 4 big words Red Sand Scorpion written on Kankuro's seal scroll, Granny Chiao's mood suddenly became a little confused. Granny Chiao, are you okay? Maki couldn't help asking. It's okay, I'm fine, I'm just old and need to close my eyes and rest occasionally. The seal scroll says it very clearly. Now Kankuro is no match for those 2 people. Gaara has been taken away, but the scroll also shows the direction they left. Then we will send a pursuit team to chase them. The Sand Village quickly formed an elite pursuit team to bring Gaara back with Lord Emoji and others. Granny Chiao restrained their emotions and ordered. Yes. Everyone nodded. Give this scroll to Lord Emoji, and then you all go and bring Gaara back together. Granny Chiao handed the scroll to Maki. Then she turned around quickly. Yes. Maki didn't notice Granny Chiao's abnormality. After getting the scroll, he went directly to the room where Tianyu and the others were. Only some old people in the Sand Village had complicated feelings when they saw the contents of the scroll. Because they knew that the Red Sand Scorpion, written on the scroll, was the grandson of Grandma Chiao. It was also the only relative left for Grandma Chiao in this world. But the funny thing is that now his only relative is going to be an enemy of the Sand Village. If you really can't bear it, you might as well tell Lord Tianyu and let them catch him alive. An old man stepped forward and wanted to comfort Grandma Chiao. After all, the death of Grandma Chiao's son and daughter-in-law was enough to make her sad. But what the Red Sand Scorpion did later made Grandma Chiao even more heartbroken. Although one person can now hold the power of the Sand Village, in the final analysis, Grandma Chiao is just an old man who has lost her relatives. No need. Since he has betrayed the village, he is already a traitor. We should not show mercy to a traitor in public or private. Moreover, he has been gone for more than 20 years. My grandson has died on the battlefield. He, like my son and daughter-in-law, is a hero who sacrificed his life for the village. As for the Red Sand Scorpion who betrayed the Sand Village, he is just a stranger with my grandson's name. If the pursuit team encounters the Red Sand Scorpion, they can kill him. When Grandma Chiao said that last sentence, there were tears in her eyes. After all, that was her grandson. But now everything is for the village, even if some necessary means are used. Well, okay. The elders could only sigh when they saw Grandma Chiao say this. Then they stopped persuading. But their hearts were also very complicated. Because the Red Sand Scorpion was really a genius in the Sand Village. If such a genius had not left the Sand Village, the puppet secrets of the Sand Village would definitely be more powerful and prosperous now. It's just a pity, there is no if. Master Amaji. Maki knocked at the door. Come in. Amaji said loudly. Yes, Master Amaji, we have received a secret letter from Kankuro, which has detailed the direction of the people who took Gaara away. You can act now. At the same time, the Sand Village will send some people to go with you. Maki said hurriedly. Okay. Amaji took the seal scroll, took a look, and understood everything instantly. It seems that there is no difference between now and the original. Kankuro is still poisoned by the red sand scorpion. If the toxins in the body are not removed in time, I am afraid that Kankuro will not survive for more than 3 days. Kakashi, Naruto, you two will go with me to pursue. In addition, Might Guy, Rock Lee, Tenten and Niji, the 3 of you will be responsible for gathering information and tracking the enemy's lair. But remember, this time you are only responsible for gathering information, not fighting with the opponent. Once the opponent finds out, you must retreat quickly. Even if you are already involved in the war, you must leave the battle as soon as possible and come back quickly. This is your first S-level mission. I don't want any of you to get into trouble. I want you to come back safely. Tianyu looked at everyone and said, "Don't worry, brother, I will strictly follow your words." Tiantian nodded firmly. As a qualified brother control, she has long regarded Jiang Tianyu's words as a criterion. She will definitely obey. Yes. Might Guy, Rock Lee and Niji, the 3 of them also nodded. Whether it is Might Guy, Rock Lee, or Niji, the 3 of them have received the favor of Tianyu. In this operation, Tianyu's orders will be fully executed. Everyone will strictly obey. There will be absolutely no disobedience. Brother, I actually want to chase them with you. Tiantian didn't want to be separated from Tianyu. She still wanted to stay with Tianyu. Be good, Tiantian, after this mission is over, I will definitely accompany you well, but if I let you go with me to the pursuit team now, it is very likely that something will go wrong, so it is best for you to stay in the exploration team, and believe me, you will definitely gain something this time. Tianyu said with a smile. Chapter 293 Akatsuki's Conspiracy. Oh, okay. Tiantian could only nod after hearing what Tianyu said. Seeing everyone's listless appearance, Tianyu smiled. Being able to fight against himself is actually something that he can't get. And now Tiantian and the others are about to experience a situation where they fight against themselves. Only by surpassing themselves and becoming stronger than the last second can they defeat their clones and gain the strongest power. No, Lord Tianyu, what about me? I also came with you, but I have never been assigned a task. Which group should I go to? Sakura is anxious. This is an S-level task. If it can be successfully completed, it will undoubtedly make her resume very beautiful. And maybe she can be reused by Tsunade and become Tsunade's disciple. In this way, she can be considered to have a relationship with the Hokage. In this way, her status in Konoha can also be significantly improved. Maybe she can inherit the title of Sennin in the future. Therefore, Sakura will definitely not stay quietly like this. You should have learned medical ninjutsu from Shizune for a while, so you should stay in the Sands village and treat the wounded here. Let me see how you have learned during this period of time. Tianyu said coldly. Yes, Lord Tianyu, I promise to complete the task. Sakura said excitedly. After announcing their respective tasks, Tianyu took Kakashi and Naruto with him and left the Sands village. They chased directly in the direction of the seal scroll. Along the way, Kakashi remained silent. It was obvious that Kakashi was still a little uncomfortable in front of Tianyu. Brother Tianyu, what do you think those people are going to do after they captured Gaara? As for Naruto, he was much more relaxed. He walked side by side with Tianyu. He couldn't help asking, what else can we do? Capturing the Jinchuriki is naturally to plot against a tailed beast in their bodies, and Gaara is the Jinchuriki of the one-tailed Shukaku. They are targeting Shukaku, not Gaara. Tianyu replied. At this moment, the sky was full of flying yellow sand and it became gloomy. This means that they are about to face a desert storm in the desert. And this also foreshadows the coming of a storm in this world. The tailed beasts, are the tailed beasts really that powerful? Everyone wants to seize them. Naruto muttered to himself, as if he was asking Tianyu, or as if he was talking to himself. Yes, the tailed beasts are indeed very strong. For ordinary people, the power of the tailed beasts is far beyond that of ordinary people. If you can become a Jinchuriki, you can instantly gain the power of the cage level, including Gaara, and of course you, Naruto. Tianyu looked at Naruto and said, now the Akatsuki organization has appeared here again. Started to make trouble. Then this also means that the world is about to face a storm. Then maybe he should let these children who have been growing up under his protection grow up. Especially Naruto. the reincarnation of Ashura. In the future, his strength will not be weaker than Hashirama Senju. If he can be trained well, he will definitely be a super fighter. And he is also a loyal one. But I don't feel how strong my power is. Sometimes I fight with the color sage, but I am defeated by him every time. If I can have the power of the tailed beast, then the color sage should not be my opponent. Naruto asked with his big eyes blinking. Yes, generally speaking, it is true, but you are different. The seal in your body is very perfect. If you don't want to, you can use the power of the nine tails when you are angry. But during normal training, you can't feel the nine tails in your body, so naturally you can't have the power of the nine tails. But don't worry, after this mission is over, I will tailor a set of training methods for you. Then you will be able to use the power of the nine tails, and maybe you can even shake hands with him. Tianyu couldn't help laughing. Okay, then I'll leave everything to brother Tianyu. However, now that we know that those people in red cloud robes are after the tailed beasts, we must not let them succeed. They are bad guys who want to destroy Konoha, and I must rescue Gaara successfully. I have seen that guy, and I know that he has the same gentlemanly mind and the same hateful eyes as me. But now that Gaara has chosen to protect the village, it means that he has let go of the hatred in his heart. For such a person, I must bring him back and tell him that his choice is not wrong. Naruto said firmly. Then he stopped talking and moved forward firmly. As for Kakashi, after hearing the conversation between Tianyu and Naruto, he felt mixed emotions. Naruto is a Jinchuriki, and Gaara is also a Jinchuriki. If the other party covets the power of the tailed beast, then they must speed up and quickly take Gaara back. Because if they don't do this, the moment the tailed beast leaves the Jinchuriki's body, that is the moment when the Jinchuriki dies. The three people continued to move forward. They were very fast. At this speed, I'm afraid they will be able to catch up with Scorpion before dawn. The sky gradually brightened. The morning sun shone on everyone's faces. In front of Deidara and Scorpion was a forest. This was the border between the Kingdom of Wind and the Kingdom of Fire. Back then, Hashirama Senju used his wood release to turn this barren land into a huge forest. Until now, this forest is still dense, and there are many more creatures. There are also many strongholds here. The Akatsuki organization also has a stronghold here. At this moment, in the stronghold, Obito's phantom had arrived here early. Opposing Obito's phantom was the phantom of Pain Tendao, Konan, and Black and White Zetsu. Haven't Deidara and the others arrived yet? Obito asked coldly. No, it seems that they are on the way here and have delayed some time, but they will be here soon, and our plan will proceed as before, without any mistakes. Black Zetsu replied with a smile. He had long been accustomed to Obito's dark face. Well, let's summon the Gaiden demon statue. After we get the one-tail Shukaku, our next target will be the major tailed beasts scattered throughout the ninja world. Only by gathering all of them can we complete the Great Moon Eye project and bring true peace to the world. By that time, you and I here will all be the heroes who shaped that new world, and you will get everything you want. Obito's eyes lit up when he talked about the Moon Eye project. Chapter 294 following closely. Only when talking about the Moon Eye project, Obito's face would show other expressions. Although these expressions of his were hidden in the shit yellow vortex mask. But this did not prevent Nagato and Konan from feeling Obito's enthusiasm. That's right. Everyone nodded again. Only the Moon Eye project is the greatest plan that can bring peace to the whole world. For this plan, they can sacrifice everything. Even their own lives. Then let's wait for them to come. Obito smiled and stood there. Black and White Zetsu, Konan, Nagato and others stopped talking. They waited for Deidara and the Red Sand Scorpion to return with peace of mind. In the forest, the sky was bright, and Amaji and the others finally caught up with Deidara and the Red Sand Scorpion. Looking at their backs, Naruto was very excited and was about to rush over and take Gaara back. Naruto, don't be impulsive, listen to Amaji-sama. Kakashi stopped Naruto. Although Naruto's strength has become very strong now, his star heart needs to be sharpened. Otherwise, if he is still as impulsive as he was when he was a child, he might end up messing up some things. But, damn it. Although Naruto wanted to rush forward, he finally stood behind Tianyu. Brother Tianyu, tell me what we should do, I will listen to you. Naruto looked at Tianyu and said. Okay, Naruto, Kakashi, the most urgent thing now is to block their retreat. Naruto, take this. Tianyu handed the one-hit kill, Murasame, to Naruto. This is it. Naruto felt the murderous intent on the long sword, and his heart couldn't help but feel cold. Naruto didn't dare to look directly at the sharp edge. This is a one-hit kill, Murasame. The longsword is poisoned. As long as the blade hits that person, even if it's just a very small wound, that person will be poisoned and die within a minute, and there is no antidote for this poison, so you must be very careful when holding it, and never let yourself touch the blade, otherwise you will die too. Tianyu reminded Naruto. Yes. Naruto couldn't help swallowing his saliva after hearing this. It seems that he has to be very careful when using it later, otherwise, he might really kill himself. Kakashi, I also saw your swordsmanship a few days ago. You have mastered the swordsmanship very well now, and your strength has also been significantly improved, so you and Naruto go together to block their retreat. When you are done, fire a signal flare immediately, and I will attack them as soon as possible. Tianyu formulated a tactic. After all, the Deidara and the Red Sand Scorpion in front of him are both cage-level masters and are not easy to deal with. And if they can be killed or captured alive, it will be a big blow to the Akatsuki organization. Uchiha Itachi left, his Shigeki Kisame defected to Konoha, and Kokuzu and Hiden had been killed by him. If Deidara and the Red Sand Scorpion are lost, then the Akatsuki organization will only have Nagato, Konan, Obito and Black and White Zetsu. Nagato's strength is indeed very strong, but the Samsara Eye consumes Nagato's body very much. Although the 6 paths of pain are very powerful, Nagato's body is very weak. As for Konan, although her power is mysterious, as someone who has long been familiar with the original work, Tianyu naturally knows how to defeat Konan. As for Black and White Zetsu, that guy has no fighting power at all, and can only hide in the dark and attack. He is just a wolf-ambitious conspirator. He wants to resurrect his innocent mother. He is a filial son. As long as you are on guard against Black and White Zetsu, his conspiracy will have no effect on Tianyu. So the remaining one is Obito, who is more difficult. Obito's strength is hollowisation and space-time ninjutsu. But this does not mean that Obito will be much worse in ninjutsu. Before his death, Uchiha Madara taught him all his life's unique skills. Even Obito has the cells of Hashirama Senju in his body, which can perform wood escape. These two together, even the current Tianyu feels a little tricky and difficult to deal with. Ding, the system task is released. Successfully bring back Gaara. The reward for completing the task is Zuanhuang Rock. Ding, the system task is released. Stop the conspiracy of the Akatsuki organization and prevent them from getting the one-tailed Shukaku. The reward for completing the task is Zuanwu Turtle Shell. The system prompt sounded in Tianyu's ears. It's rare. The system actually took the initiative to release the task after half a year. And the 2 materials rewarded by the task are exactly the materials he needs to build the Gai shield. As long as he waits until this task is completed, Tianyu will have enough materials to build the Gai shield. That shield can be said to be a real absolute defense. It can defend against any attack of the enemy 100%, although it will consume durability. But it must be said that this skill can completely match the name of the opposite shield. It is worthy of the shield of the earth goddess Gaia. Okay. After hearing this, Kakashi and Naruto immediately nodded, and then quietly left Tianyu's side. Tianyu was hiding in the dark. Always following Deidara and the Red Sand Scorpion quietly. Deidara sat on the bird, and beside him, the Red Sand Scorpion was still hidden in the puppet of Haruko. They were not moving fast, perhaps because they were about to reach a familiar territory, and their vigilance had also dropped a lot. Boom! With the fireworks of the signal flare exploding in the sky, Tianyu knew that Kakashi and the others were already in place. What? Deidara was the first to react. Then the bird took off in an instant. He wanted to escape from the sky. 1,000-year ice prison. Tianyu held the ice ring pail in his hand and fell from the sky. The ice ring pail in his hand flashed a cold light. In the eyes of everyone, ice blue ice appeared instantly. Almost in an instant, the surrounding area was instantly blocked. A cage made of ice was formed. After the ice cage appeared, Deidara could only control it helplessly, and the bird fell to the ground. Because above the ice prison, sharp ice spikes were emitting cold light. If Deidara still didn't give up and insisted on breaking through from the sky, he would probably be pierced into sieve by the ice spikes. This was completely different from Deidara's attitude of wanting to escape immediately. Scorpion stood still, as if he hadn't reacted at all. He waited until the 1,000-year ice prison was formed. Then Scorpion looked at Deidara beside him. Chapter 295 Confrontation between the two sides. This is to trap us, not to attack us. You are a little too surprised. Scorpion sneered. The two of them have completely different understandings of art, so their relationship is not very good. But their strengths complement each other. So in the Akatsuki organization, the two of them were assigned to the same group. But this did not prevent Scorpion from sneer at Deidara. Anyway, it was an internal conflict. This can be regarded as the ancestral heritage of the Akatsuki organization. It's just some broken ice. I can easily blow up these ice blocks with my detonating clay. Deidara didn't take Scorpion's words seriously at all. After all, it has been common for the two of them to quarrel like this. If every quarrel is taken to heart, I am afraid that the two of them have already been enemies of life and death. Before the two of them go on a mission, they will fight first. You can try, but I don't recommend you to do so. The 1,000-year ice prison is so strong that it is very likely that your detonating clay will not only fail to blow up the ice, but also hurt yourself. Tianyu appeared in front of Deidara and the red sand scorpion with his arms folded and sneered. Oh, it's you, Tianyu. Deidara and the red sand scorpion looked at Tianyu. They were very familiar with the man in front of them. It was because of this man that they failed directly in the attack of Konoha. Even Engel and Hidden had died in Tianyu's hands. According to reliable intelligence, Hashigaki Kisame had already defected to Konoha and Tianyu. He became a traitor in the Akatsuki organization. So the man in front of him almost single-handedly killed 4 people in the Akatsuki organization. After all, Uchiha Itachi is now missing. Although he has not completely left the Akatsuki organization, after the truth about the extermination of the Uchiha clan was spread, everyone already knows that Uchiha Itachi joined the Akatsuki organization to be an undercover agent. Obito has also listed Uchiha Itachi and Hashigaki Kisame as traitors. They are on the must-kill list. He is only waiting to complete the Moonai plan, and then he will completely kill Uchiha Itachi and Hashigaki Kisame. Are you stupid? We are still here. Naruto couldn't help but stand up at this time, standing behind them and shouting loudly. Hey, Naruto, you don't have to say it so loudly. Kakashi also appeared behind Deidara and the red sand scorpion, saying in a helpless but doting tone. I know, Kakashi teacher, but brother Tianyu told me that when facing the enemy, the momentum must not be lost. Naruto is full of energy. His voice is like a bell. After these two people appeared, Tianyu, Kakashi, Naruto, the 3 of them formed a triangle shape. Completely surrounded Deidara and the red sand scorpion. And around them, there was a 1,000-year ice prison as a barrier to trap them. It can be said that they can't escape now. A brat, an elite Jonin, and the uncrowned king of Konoha. It seems that the Sand Village is really fast enough to find you in such a short time. Deidara looked at the 3 of them with a serious look. It was already very difficult to deal with Tianyu alone. Now there is also a Hatake Kakashi who started to practice the family swordsmanship again, and a brat whose strength is unknown. And the longsword in the brat's hand made Deidara feel a sense of danger. Obviously, the thing in the brat's hand should also be a divine weapon. Now, this lineup can be said to be extremely powerful. If one of them fails today, it is very likely that the boat will capsize in the ditch. They will become the 3rd and 4th members of the Akatsuki organization who died at the hands of Tianyu after Hidden and Engel. What brat? I am now a Chunin, not a brat. Open your eyes and watch me, and I will definitely make you pay today. If you know what's good for you, hand over Gar quickly, otherwise, today is the day you die. Naruto gritted his teeth and said. Naruto saw Gaara on Asuka's back at a glance. At this moment, Gaara was unconscious on Asuka's back. He was seriously injured, and his body was covered with bloodstains from the explosion. Gaara was obviously seriously injured. If he was not treated, he would probably die of his injuries. At that time, the Sand Village would lose a pillar, and Gaara was a Jinchuriki like him. This made Naruto feel a little more sympathetic towards Gaara. Although the relationship between Naruto and Gaara is not as deep as in the original work, Naruto still regarded Gaara as a friend. Death date, you are young, but you are so arrogant. There may be someone who can kill us, but it is definitely not you. Deidara looked at Naruto and laughed. After all, if this sentence was said by Amaji, Deidara and the Red Sand Scorpion would really have to be extremely cautious and respond with all their strength. But this sentence came from the mouth of Naruto, a child who is not even 13 years old. That can only make people laugh. Damn it. Naruto knew that they were all looking down on him, and wanted to say something. But in the end he kept his mouth shut. Because before, Brother Tianyu had taught him that when facing an enemy who looked down on you, what you should do is not to confront him with words. Instead, you should really defeat him with your own strength, and then humiliate him severely. Say one sentence in front of his seriously injured body or corpse. Actually, you are quite weak. This sentence is the best revenge and blow to them. Enough, stop talking, there is a big enemy standing in front of us. The red sand scorpion looked at Itara speechlessly. It was already a certain time, and Itara could still quarrel with a little kid. It seems that Itara's IQ can only survive in the teenage age stage. After all, if it was a little higher, Deidara would probably be regarded as a fool or a fool. Yes. Deidara looked at Tianyu immediately after hearing what the red sand scorpion said. His face was solemn. At the same time, the palm of his hand was still chewing the detonating clay. After all, the strength of Tianyu and Kakashi should not be underestimated. If a fight really breaks out, he should be prepared in advance. Tianyu, is Konoha really going to help the Sand Village? Don't forget that the Sand Village and KK also participated in the previous Konoha collapse plan. Is Konoha just going to let it go? If so, you are really broad-minded. Chapter 296 The attack begins. At this time, the Red Sand Scorpion did not forget to sow discord. After all, they are the weaker party now. If they really fight with Tianyu and the others, they are likely to be seriously injured or even die. If Tianyu and the Sand Village can turn against each other, it would be great. Even if it can't, it can make Tianyu's heart pierce a thorn. In this way, their cooperation with the Sand Village will be terminated in the future. In this way, it can be regarded as a successful provocation. If Temari or Kankuro were present at this moment, they would definitely hate the Red Sand Scorpion. Because what the Red Sand Scorpion said was indeed what the Sand Village had done. And Tianyu himself is a person who doesn't like to suffer losses, and he is very careful about everything he does. If you respect me 1 foot, I will give you 10 feet. So, if he really cares, maybe Gar will really be taken away by them. You don't have to provoke me with words. The decision of Konoha is not decided by you, so your idea of sowing discord is not valid at all. Scorpion of the Red Sand, I actually don't understand it. You should be considered a member of the Sand Village. Your father and mother died in the war, and you were raised by your grandmother. But because your grandmother is very busy, she has never been able to take care of you. You long for family affection and love from others, and even became a puppet of your 2 fathers and mothers. But in the end, you are extremely indifferent to life, and even made your only friend into a puppet. To be honest, this change is not big. Tianyu looked at Scorpion of the Red Sand and couldn't help saying. Anyway, Scorpion of the Red Sand mentioned the incident of the Sand Village attacking Konoha before, so don't blame him for talking about this matter except for the lungs of the Red Sand. Anyway, come on. Hurt each other. He wants to see who will be more hurt. Anyway, the Sand Village attacked Konoha, and he has received enough compensation from the Sand Village, and has also hit the Sand Village hard. As for Scorpion, his parents were dead after all, and there was no way they could come back. Moreover, the puppets of his father and mother were no longer in his hands. So this time, Scorpion's words could be said to kill 100 enemies and lose 1,000 of his own. Sure enough, after hearing what Tianyu said, Scorpion stopped talking. Although the puppet Amber's face did not change at all, Tianyu knew that Scorpion had probably already had the intention to kill. Because at this time, there was an uncontrollable murderous aura around him. Since there is no way to negotiate, let's solve it. After saying this, Scorpion attacked without hesitation. The puppet Amber's tail went straight through the ground and drilled towards Tianyu's back. Brother Tianyu, be careful. Lord Tianyu, be careful. Naruto and Kakashi reminded Tianyu at the same time. But Tianyu had a deep understanding of Scorpion's methods. This is the world of ninjas, and there is no such thing as an open and above-board duel. And the puppet technique itself is a shady trick. Of course he would be on guard. Ling. With a crisp sound, the tail of the puppet Amber was directly opened by Hyorinmaru. If you are trying to make a small move, you can forget it. My perception can let me detect the trajectory of the ants deep underground, so no matter what tricks you use, I can detect it at the first time. Red Sand Scorpion, if you want to escape, you'd better show your real ability, otherwise, you can't leave today. The wind wings behind Tianyu spread out. Tianyu stood in the void, holding high Orinmaru in his hand. Like a god, he dominated the world and looked down at Deidara and Red Sand Scorpion. Really? Although Red Sand Scorpion sneered. But he remained extremely vigilant against Tianyu in his heart. Because Red Sand Scorpion was not sure of winning. Dealing with Tianyu might be more difficult than he imagined. Brother Scorpion. Deidara looked at Red Sand Scorpion, and for some reason he had some bad premonitions in his heart. Because he knew that Red Sand Scorpion was really angry at this moment. Only when the Red Sand Scorpion is angry, Deidara will call him Brother Scorpion, instead of calling him by his full name. Then give it a try. After the Red Sand Scorpion finished this sentence, the puppet Amber's tail continued to attack Tianyu. At the same time, the Red Sand Scorpion seemed to be preparing a big move. A big move that could directly defeat Tianyu. Ridiculous. Tianyu faced the Amber's tail. He sneered in his heart. Kakashi, Naruto, your opponent is Deidara, hold him back for me. Tianyu quickly gave the order. Yes. Hearing Tianyu's order, Kakashi and Naruto also acted quickly. Kakashi held the short sword in his hand and fought with Deidara in an instant. And Naruto cooperated with Kakashi to attack Deidara. Tianyu's wind wing swooped down instantly, and almost in an instant, Tianyu had come behind Ember. I'm tired of playing this fake mask game with you. You should welcome me with your real body. After Tianyu finished speaking, the ice ring pill in his hand instantly pierced into the back of Ember. Of course, the Ember puppet would not let Tianyu destroy it. A mechanism appeared on his back, like a mask armor. This was also an absolute defense that could block most ninjutsu attacks. But it couldn't stop the ice ring pill. Under the ice ring pill, everything was cut like tofu. In an instant, the ice ring pill pierced into the body of the Amber puppet. At the same time, it directly cut off the chakra control thread. Ice kill. Endless ice spikes instantly burst out from the ice ring pill. These ice spikes were harder than gold and iron when they appeared. Almost in an instant, the body of the puppet Amber was torn apart. And this move was also a move that Tianyu realized by himself after getting the ice ring pill. If this attack hits a human body, Wan Jindingxi will tear that person into pieces in an instant. Even the opponent's blood will turn into ice cubes and scatter on the ground. Those who died under this move would not even have a complete body left. Because his body had already been torn into pieces. It was extremely bloody. Now the puppet Amber was just the right one to deal with the Red Sand Scorpion. When Amber was defeated, a puff of white smoke rose from the spot. Tianyu directly controlled the wind wings to fly in the air. When the white smoke dissipated, the real body of the Red Sand Scorpion appeared in front of everyone. It was a boy with red hair and wearing a red cloud robe. The boy had a delicate appearance. Chapter 297 End of the battle. He didn't look like the Red Sand Scorpion who killed people without hesitation and was extremely indifferent to life. But at this moment, everyone understood that he was the real body of the Red Sand Scorpion. The ugly and dirty puppet Amber was just a shell of the Red Sand Scorpion's usual actions. That's right. Tianyu sneered. His eyes fell on the name of the Red Sand Scorpion written on the chest of the Red Sand Scorpion. Tianyu knew that was the dead point and life gate of the Red Sand Scorpion. As long as that place was destroyed, the Red Sand Scorpion would definitely die. Since you want to see my true body, then I will fulfill your wish. However, Tianyu, don't treat me as an ordinary person, otherwise I will be very uncomfortable. The Red Sand Scorpion finally had an expression on his face. He showed a crazy look. At the same time, he directly attacked. His hands turned into two huge sword blades, and the sword blades flashed with a dark light. Obviously, there was a strong poison on it. At the same time, the Red Sand Scorpion also directly took out a scroll with 3 words written on it. As the white light flashed, a new puppet suddenly appeared on the spot. This new puppet was obviously the third Kazakage. It seemed that the Red Sand Scorpion had never shown mercy to the Sand Village. He even turned the third Kazakage into a puppet. However, for Tianyu, who already knew all the weaknesses of the Red Sand Scorpion, even if he took out 1,000 or 10,000 puppets, it would only be a matter of one move. Flying Thunder God Slash. Tianyu directly launched the Flying Thunder God technique, and his ice wheel pill flashed with a cold light. Not good. Facing the Flying Thunder God Slash, the Red Sand Scorpion did not dare to hesitate at all. He gave up the attack and chose defense. However, Tianyu's attack itself was a fake move. He was indeed good at the Flying Thunder God technique, But he was not prepared to kill. Instead, he approached the red sand scorpion at the fastest speed, and then waved the ice wheel pill in his hand. Dragon shot frame. An ice blue mark was seen in the sky in an instant. In an instant, the red sand scorpion was frozen in the ice column. Now the red sand scorpion and his puppet have lost contact. In the air, the puppet of the third Kazakh also fell directly from the attack state to the ground. On Tianyu's side, the dragon slaughter frame has never been broken. Because the breaking of the dragon slaughter frame can only deal with living people. Although the current body is the red sand scorpion's body, it has long been transformed into a human puppet by the red sand scorpion. As long as the device on the chest of the red sand scorpion is not destroyed, he will never die. So even if his body is broken, it is meaningless, but it will release him. After catching the red sand scorpion, Tianyu set his sights on Kakashi and Naruto. Kakashi's strength has improved a lot, with White Fang's swordsmanship and Ibido's Sharingan. Hatake Kakashi's power is almost stronger than before. Rasengan. Here, Hatake Kakashi and Deidara are in a stalemate. Because of the ice column barrier around, Deidara can't take off on the bird. With no other choice, he could only fight Kakashi and Naruto on the ground. Naruto had already rolled a ball and was waiting to hit Deidara. Now, Naruto. Kakashi created a perfect opportunity. He held Deidara back and didn't let him move. The next moment, Naruto directly hit Deidara with a Rasengan. Puff. Deidara's body instantly spun and flew backwards, hitting the ice hard before stopping. When Deidara got up, blood was already showing at the corner of his mouth. Cough cough. He was still coughing. It was obvious that the strength of Naruto's Rasengan still caused Deidara to be seriously injured. He had lost an arm in the previous battle with Gaara. Although his injury had recovered after 2 days, his arm still hadn't recovered. Now he was actually at a disadvantage in the battle with Kakashi and Naruto. How about it? Do you know how powerful I am? Naruto couldn't help but say as he looked at Deidara. Kid, even if you become stronger, what can you do? You defeated me together with a copy ninja Kakashi. Otherwise, you are no match for me with your own strength. Deidara was still disdainful. But at this moment, Naruto didn't want to quarrel with Deidara anymore. After all, Deidara lost, and making so many excuses for himself would only make him look more incompetent. Hurry up and give Gaara back. Naruto looked at Gaara on the bird. If he wasn't afraid of hurting Gaara, Naruto would have already snatched him away. Oh, it seems that you really want to take Gaara back, but what can we do? The red sand scorpion and I don't want to be your prisoners, so we can only negotiate a condition. If you open this barrier and let us leave, I will hand over Gaara to you. If you don't agree, then I will use this bomb to send Gaara to the west. Then the red sand scorpion and I will be killed by you. Deidara couldn't help but speak. After all, if you can live, no one wants to die. Besides, Deidara's strength is not at its peak now. What are you thinking? How is this possible? Naruto refused without thinking. After all, this is impossible. They are not the losers. Why should they let him go? I agree. And Tianyu agreed directly. Brother Tianyu. Naruto was stunned for a moment after hearing Tianyu's words, and then looked at Tianyu with unbelievable eyes. After all, since Naruto followed Tianyu on the mission, he has never seen Tianyu compromise with anyone. This is the first time. It's okay, Naruto. Tianyu smiled and shook his head at Naruto. Then he waved his hand, and the ice pillar barrier around him disappeared instantly. Haha, you fell into the trap. Deidara sneered and smashed Gaara towards Naruto. When Naruto saw Gaara being thrown over, he subconsciously wanted to catch him. But he was directly pulled by Tianyu. What's going on? Before Naruto could ask his doubts, he saw me, and Gaara's body suddenly became bigger. Then Shukaku appeared in front of everyone. Shukaku's body was still growing bigger. Tianyu grabbed Naruto's clothes and retreated with Kakashi. As Shukaku appeared, Deidara also rolled up the body of the red sand scorpion and put it on the bird. Without the restraint of the barrier, Deidara sat on the bird and flew into the sky. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 298 Shukaku appears. HMPH, you guys just keep playing with the tailed beasts, we'll leave first, but emoji, Don't think that we lost to you this time. If there is a chance next time, I will let you see how powerful I am." After Deidara said this, he turned around and drove away directly on the Asuka. For him, leaving is the best choice now. Saying the toughest words and doing the most cowardly things. That's right, he slipped away. Because Deidara knew in his heart that Emoji, as an enemy, had not yet tried his best, and he was no match for him. A man of insight is a hero, and there is no reason for him to confront him head-on at this time. So, Deidara chose to slip away very cleverly. Haha, I finally came out. After coming out, the one-tailed Shukaku couldn't help but shout. The tailed beasts all like freedom, and no tailed beast is willing to enter a person's body and become the source of his power and become a Jinchuriki. Shukaku is no exception. So after Shukaku felt the weakness of the Jinchuriki, Deidara designed it again, and Shukaku appeared directly in front of everyone. After the huge body appeared, it gave people a strong sense of oppression. Is this the tailed beast? Naruto stood beside Tianyu and looked at the one-tailed Shukaku with a surprised expression. The yellow raccoon cat has a dark blue pattern on its body. The huge body carries an extremely dangerous aura. There is no doubt that the tailed beast is extremely powerful, but also extremely dangerous. Even Hatake Kakashi also walked to Tianyu's side. Looking at the one-tailed Shukaku, he was also surprised. Kakashi had seen the tailed beast before, but it was the first time to observe the appearance of a tailed beast at such a close distance. Even during the Nine-Tailed Rebellion, Kakashi was unable to face the Nine-Tailed directly because of the order of the Fourth Hokage, but now he saw the one-tailed Shukaku up close. This is indeed surprising. Yes, this is the one-tailed Shukaku, one of the targets of the Akatsuki organization. Tianyu looked at the one-tailed Shukaku and said lightly with his arms folded. This one-tailed Shukaku is an old acquaintance to him. The last time he escorted Gaara back to the Sand Village, Gaara released the one-tailed Shukaku because of a disagreement. After the one-tailed Shukaku appeared, it also went berserk. But he was ruthlessly suppressed back. So this time, dealing with Shukaku can be regarded as a matter of fact. After all, dealing with a one-tailed Shukaku is not difficult. I didn't expect that there was such a big tailed beast living in Gaara's body. It's so powerful. Naruto looked at the one-tailed Shukaku and not only had no fear. On the contrary, he thought the one-tailed Shukaku was particularly cool. Naruto then remembered that there was also a nine-tailed in his body. He couldn't help but think about the appearance of the big fox coming out. It must be majestic. Naruto, this is a tailed beast. Tailed beasts are very dangerous. Kakashi felt a little helpless after hearing what Naruto said. These tailed beasts have extremely powerful powers, and because these tailed beasts are locked in people's bodies, they become extremely irritable every time they get out of trouble. It will bring great damage to the village. Every time the tailed beast goes berserk, more than half of the village's buildings will collapse. Even many civilians will be killed. So the term tailed beast is synonymous with terror in the ninja world. But, the tailed beast also has its own consciousness, right? As long as it has its own consciousness, it should be able to communicate well. I think the tailed beast should not be born so cruel. Naruto looked at Kakashi and couldn't help saying. When he was a child, he experienced the cold violence of the villagers. Because of the tailed beast in his body. But Naruto did not hate the tailed beast, but felt that the tailed beast was also pitiful. Because if he was locked in a person's body and lost his freedom for more than 10 years or even hundreds of years, he would also become crazy. So he believed that as long as they could communicate well, everything could be discussed. Kakashi was stunned for a moment when he heard Naruto's seemingly childish words, and finally he could only shake his head helplessly. Everyone in the ninja world thinks that the tailed beasts are evil, but I'm afraid only Naruto thinks that these tailed beasts also have their own consciousness and are kind. Okay, let's discuss the matter of the tailed beasts after we return to Konoha. Now our goal is this big guy in front of us. Come on, send this big guy back to where he should go. Tianyu looked at Naruto and smiled. Sure enough, Naruto was still so kind, even for the tailed beasts that he had only met once, he could still have his own kindness. It was really good. Yes. Naruto nodded. Kakashi also drew out his short sword and was ready. I'm free, great. The one-tailed Shukaku was still sighing that he had regained his freedom. He had been trapped in the body of the Jinchuriki for many years, imprisoned and unable to be free. Although he could see the outside through the body of the Jinchuriki. But the pain of being able to see but not feel it personally made the one-tailed Shukaku's heart more violent. So every time he would seize the opportunity when the Jinchuriki was relaxed, and then come out to vent his anger. He wanted to take revenge on those who locked him in the human body. Only by seeing blood and killing could the anger in his heart be calmed down. Only in this way can he continue to persist in the body of the Jinchuriki. Hey, one-tail Shukaku, it's too early for you to say that now. Shianyu's wind wings danced. He appeared in the void and looked at the one-tail Shukaku. It's you again, why do you always haunt me every time I appear? After the one-tail Shukaku saw Shianyu clearly, he became irritable in an instant. It was the same last time. He finally managed to get out of Gaara's body, but was beaten back by the man in front of him. Now he also came out, but met the same man. Could this guy be his nemesis? And the kid next to him has the aura of Kirima, whom he hates the most. This made him even more disgusted. It's not that I haunt you every time, but that you just happen to meet me every time you come out. But it's easier to do things with acquaintances. You actually knew how powerful I am last time, so this time just go back to Gaara's body, so that you can suffer less. Tianyu hugged his arms and smiled. You're dreaming, I've already come out of the body of the Jinchuriki, I'm free now, I will never go back, no matter how hard you try to hit me, at most I will just turn into chakra and disappear. Anyway, in a few hundred years, I will be born again in this world, and by that time I'm afraid you will have turned into yellow earth and skeletons. The one-tailed Shukaku heard Tianyu's words and couldn't help but said angrily. He would never compromise. Chapter 299, Beating Shukaku. Oh, if that's the case, then I have to do it again. I hope you're tough enough to withstand my beating this time. Shianyu's mouth curled up in a dangerous arc. People who are familiar with Shianyu know it. When Shianyu smiles like this, it means you're in trouble. 8 gates of ninjutsu, the 6th gate, Jingmen, open. After Shianyu said this, his skin turned red. His physical strength and speed were greatly improved. The whole person was like a god, standing in the void. HMPH, practice air bullets. The one-tailed Shukaku was not to be outdone. He directly compressed the surrounding air and spit out huge air bullets from his mouth one after another. These bullets were extremely fast and powerful. However, although they were called air, the bullets that actually spit out from Shukaku's mouth were compressed wind blades as big as millstones. Such compressed wind blades, as long as they collided, would be enough to cut a person into pieces. Not worth mentioning. Shianyu dodged, and the wings of wind could easily avoid the attack from the air. He has already opened the 8 gates of ninjutsu, and he also possesses the flying thunder god technique. If he can still be hit by the attack of the one-tailed Shukaku, then he is really ridiculous. The empty compressed bullets directly hit the forest and the mountain wall. The surrounding forest was destroyed. There were also large holes on the mountain wall. Kakashi and Naruto couldn't help but be surprised when they saw the attack of the one-tailed Shukaku. After all, such power is really strong. It can be said that it is extremely powerful. If they were allowed to perform it, at least A-level ninjutsu could achieve such an effect. But now with the one-tailed Shukaku, it can be performed at will. The power of the tailed beast is indeed not something that ordinary people can deal with. It's too strong. Teacher Kakashi, sooner or later I will become as powerful as Brother Aim, and I will protect Konoha well. Naruto looked at Kakashi with sparkling eyes and said firmly. After all, only in this way can he prove his worth. Just like his father, protect Konoha. Well, I believe you can become a Hokage loved by everyone like your teacher. If you want to become a Hokage, we will help you. Kakashi looked at Naruto and smiled with relief. Kakashi has always felt that Naruto is very similar to Obito. They are both so brave, firm and optimistic. Now when Naruto said this, Kakashi recalled every bit of his time with Obito. Obito once had such a dream. He wanted to become the Hokage of Konoha and protect everyone. Now Obito is dead, and Kakashi inherited his eyes. Although Kakashi failed to become the Hokage to fulfill Obito's dream. But if he can use these eyes to watch Naruto ascend to the position of Hokage, it can be regarded as an explanation to Obito, and Naruto and Obito are really similar, both so passionate. Obito, you see it. Your dream has been inherited by someone, and I will use your eyes to watch Naruto for you. Watch him become stronger and be able to protect everyone in the village. Phoenix Strike. Shianyu closed his eyes, and when he opened them the next moment, his eyes had turned red. The surroundings were filled with red mist. Like flames. Behind Shianyu, a huge phoenix shadow appeared. This is the fist shadow that will appear when the speed is exerted to the extreme. Just like a phoenix spreading its wings. Boom, the speed of flying thunder god plus the 8 gates. Almost in an instant, Tianyu came directly to the top of the head of the one-tailed Shukaku. Then he punched out. With a bang. The one-tailed Shukaku let out a scream. His head was hit and collapsed directly. But this is not over yet. With Tianyu's continuous attacks. Because Shukaku's whole body is bearing the huge force impact. He has no power to fight back under such power, and can only be beaten passively like a sandbag. At this moment, Shukaku actually missed the time when he was in the body of the Jinchuriki. Because at that time, if he was beaten, it was the Jinchuriki who was beaten, and the pain was also the Jinchuriki who felt pain, and it had nothing to do with him. But now he was the one being beaten, and such a punch really hurt, even the one-tailed Shukaku couldn't hold on. He wanted to sweep Amaji down with his tail. But every time his tail swung, Amaji's speed would only be faster than his. This led to Shukaku constantly spinning in circles. It was like he was dancing a funny dance. Haha, Teacher Kakashi, look, that tailed beast is so funny. Naruto looked at Shukaku's funny appearance. He couldn't help laughing. Kakashi had been on guard, but when he saw this scene, he couldn't help laughing. After all, the only people in the world who could make the tailed beasts eat turtles were probably the god of the ninja world, Hoshirama Senju and Amaji. Lord Amaji, if possible, try to speed up as much as possible. The sand village is still waiting for us, and as for Konoha, Lady Tsunade said before, the retainers of the daimyo will come to deliver supplies to us, and you need to be present for all of this. Kakashi couldn't help but say. Hearing Kakashi's words, Tianyu nodded. Okay, if that's the case, then I'll finish you off quickly. Tianyu no longer hesitated and planned to finish off the one-tail Shukaku at once. Damn it. The one-tail Shukaku was beaten dizzy, and Tianyu finally stopped. At this moment, Shukaku's body was full of fist marks, and his body had doubled in size. He was in so much pain all over. This was all caused by being beaten. Tianyu, you hit me again, so don't blame me. Shukaku was furious. It was never like this. When he was caught before, those people just suppressed him directly and never beat him up. But now he was beaten twice by Tianyu. And they were all in the same place, and they were both very painful. How could Shukaku bear this? He would definitely teach Tianyu a lesson. Shukaku opened his mouth wide, and energy continued to gather in his mouth. These energies emitted a purple-black light. Obviously it was the tailed beast bullet. Tailed beast bullet. The tailed beast bullet flew across the sky at the fastest speed. Just when Tianyu was ready to defend himself, he found that the tailed beast bullet was not attacking him at all, but attacking Naruto and Kakashi instead. Naruto and Kakashi were standing aside and watching the battle. It can be said that they were both in a relaxed stage. Chapter 300, Conquering Shukaku. The power of the tailed beast bullet is very strong. The energy contained in a tailed beast ball is far beyond the ordinary S-level ninjutsu. If it hits Kakashi and Naruto, they will be seriously injured. If it is more serious, they will even die on the spot. Tianyu knew that he could not delay any longer. Now is the time for him to take action. At the critical moment, Tianyu no longer hesitated and directly used the Flying Thunder God technique to block in front of Kakashi and Naruto. Flying Thunder God technique. The tailed beast bullet rushed over. The power and wind pressure made Tianyu's clothes fly up and down. The surrounding trees were bent by such wind pressure. Kakashi and Naruto had no time to dodge. At the moment when the tailed beast bullet attacked, Tianyu blocked them. Then he directly launched the Flying Thunder God technique. Boom. The tailed beast bullet exploded directly on the spot, and the surrounding land within 100 meters was directly turned into ashes. A huge pit 10 meters deep was blown out in the ground. All living things within 100 meters were destroyed, and a huge pit was smashed directly in the forest. Now you know how powerful I am, are you dead? Shukaku looked at the tailed beast bullet after it exploded. He couldn't help shaking his tail. With such an explosion range and explosion speed, even if Tianyu could dodge, Kakashi and Naruto would definitely not be able to escape. Even if he was to be knocked down today and turned into chakra again, it was worth it to be able to kill the two people he hated. Anyway, if he died, his Jinchuriki would also be buried with him. In total, he took the lives of 3 people at once. Worth it. One-tailed Shukaku, you are too happy too early, and this time, you really angered me. The ashes dispersed. The wind wings carried Tianyu and reappeared in front of the one-tailed Shukaku. At this moment, Tianyu's clothes were torn. This was all torn apart by the wind pressure of the tailed beast bullet just now. But except for the clothes, Tianyu was unharmed. Naruto and Kakashi were standing on the ground at the moment. They both looked a little frightened, but they were also unharmed. Damn space-time ninjutsu! Shukaku saw that the three of them were alive, and he understood everything at that moment. At the moment when the tailed beast bomb exploded, Amaji used the Flying Thunder God technique to take Naruto and Kakashi away. In this way, the tailed beast bomb did not cause any harm to them at all. After realizing this, Shukaku was very unhappy, because his power was about to be exhausted. But if he did not kill anyone before his power was exhausted, then this time he came out, it would be a bit of a waste. And he was beaten up. It can be said that he suffered a great loss. What if I anger you? You've already angered me. I've told you that I love freedom. Now the Jinchuriki has finally fallen into coma. I can be free, but you want me to return to the body of the Jinchuriki. I tell you, I can't do it. Anyway, I have offended you today, so I might as well tell you the truth. I am an immortal being. Even if you beat me to the point where only chakra is left, I will still be resurrected 100 years later. When I appear in this world at that time, after you all disappear, I will begin my revenge. I will kill everyone I see and send them all to hell. I will use their blood and souls to wash away my anger. Shukaku was furious. He had been in prison for too long. Thousands of years ago, the Six-Path Sage created them. At that time, the Six-Path Sage had told them that they had very strong power. They had power that a large number of people absolutely did not have, so they had to be gentle and kind. They tried their best to help everyone. They did so. But after the people he met discovered his power, they wanted to take him for themselves. Then, killing and violence began. In the end, they even came up with a way to let one person become a Jinchuriki so that they could control the tailed beasts. So in the end, the tailed beasts became violent and began to fight with humans. Every time a tailed beast appeared, it would bring great casualties. People also began to hate the tailed beasts. But all of this, in the final analysis, is caused by human desires. If they could treat the tailed beasts equally at the beginning, did not enslave the tailed beasts, and did not regard them as tools to become stronger, then the tailed beasts would not attack humans. So there is a cause and there is an effect. It is because the previous humans planted such a cause that they will reap the result. And Shukaku now hates humans even more. Because when he was trapped in a human body, he had seen the warmth and coldness of the world through those people's bodies. Everything in this world, even loving lovers. But after one of them becomes a Jinchuriki, the other will dump the other without hesitation. Even begin to spit on him. Other people in the village, even those who had no deep hatred for the tailed beasts, began to hate the Jinchuriki. No matter where the Jinchuriki went, they would always be accompanied by abuse and beatings. In the end, the Jinchuriki could only die alone. But even so, there would be many people who said that it was better to die. In this way, the threat to the village would disappear. But how could they know that these Jinchuriki sealed the tailed beasts in their bodies just to protect the village? The one-tailed Shukaku, who had seen the warmth and coldness of human nature, began to gradually use his power to influence the Jinchuriki. Later, because Shukaku no longer believed in the Jinchuriki and no longer believed in humans, he seized every opportunity to escape and began to retaliate against humans. Even though he would be suppressed again every time. But so what? It was just a repetition of everything that had happened before. Anyway, he was immortal and he had enough time to play with humans. Seeing the one-tailed Shukaku so furious, Tianyu, who originally wanted to kill the one-tailed Shukaku, suddenly calmed down. Yes, the tailed beasts are indeed very miserable. Although they have done evil, it is all the fault of humans in the final analysis. Thinking of this, Tianyu no longer hesitated. Shukaku, I know your miserable experience, so I am willing to give you a chance to live and be treated equally. Tianyu stood in the void, looking at the one-tailed Shukaku and said slowly. Haha, I don't need your pity and sympathy, just do it quickly. Shukaku ignored Tianyu. Don't be impatient, listen to what I say first. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone, see you in the next video.